Hey, Aya and UC in the place to be. Where my convo queens at from the front to the back? You know what I mean?
Hey,
I
guys.
talking about today, girl.
So today, I know this is probably a topic that we all been waiting for and needing. Okay, and it's fitting for Mercury retrograde. So we are talking about why Black men seem to be so pressed and obsessed with making Black women submit. Okay, that is like a new. It's not even a new thing, but all across America and the land, they want us to submit to them because they are alphas and they are the king of their castles and they need a submissive woman. And we're about to break that all down.
Oh, we about to break it down. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. So
So,
now, speaking of that, before we start, I did find a little video. I always got to try to give y'all something to set it off with or to add to the conversation. Let me just scroll here. Okay. And share my screen.
She said, if you can only be tall because somebody is on their knees.
Wait, let me start it back.
When men say that they want a submissive woman, they don't actually mean they want a submissive woman. When a lot of men say that they want a submissive woman, what they're saying is that they want a woman who is smaller than who she actually is. When they say they want a submissive woman, they're saying they want a woman who they can take advantage of. A lot of men don't want to have conversations about actual submissiveness because they know that their idea of submissiveness is debaucherous as fuck. I notice a lot of men can't find value in themselves when there's a woman in the room. Toni Morrison said this, but I think it's also appropriate in this situation. She said, if you can only be tall because somebody is on their knees, then you have a serious problem. Men have a serious problem because they can only find value in themselves when they can convince a woman to get on her knees.
Yeah.
Do we have a clip from a man too? Because my thing is this. I totally agree with her perspective on that. What I don't understand, what I feel people don't understand is they don't understand the definition of being submissive. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, so you guys, the definition, there's two different definitions that I found. In the dictionary, the definition of submission is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. I think that's the definition that they go for. Like, you want me to yield and accept your authority over me as your woman. And that's the version of submission that we have a problem with the most. And then in the biblical sense, because we know they are not going to church on Sunday or picking up a Bible, nor do they have wives. What submission looks like in a marriage between a loving husband and his wife. A loving husband submits his will to that of Christ. So you have to first submit to your Lord and Savior. And in doing so, imitates him in the marriage relationship. In this context, the wife will willingly surrender to her husband, just as her husband chose to surrender his will to Christ. And submission is based on love, and that brings peace and harmony to their family. What about what they describe to us sounds like that at all?
That actually sounds pretty nice, that one.
Yeah, that one sounds nice.
But I kind of have a problem with, okay, I won't say a problem, but it just makes me feel, how come the husband submits to this God, but not to his wife as his wife is submitting to him?
That's true too. And you know why? That's because the Bible is heavily patriarchal,
right,
to women.
Exactly.
But even still, that one sounds a lot better than the dictionary term.
Yeah, sure.
It's two completely different concepts of that word altogether.
So, what I realize is that there is an obsession in the United States with making American Black women submit. You'll see it on the dating app. I'm looking for a submissive woman. You'll hear the men. The problem with everything that's going on is that these women are not submissive enough. Hey,
Hi.
they are not. They just won't submit. They won't submit. They won't listen. They got attitudes. And here's my thing with that. Soon as I see a man that's talking that, I am out. Because I'm gonna let you know right now, straight up. I am not the submissive type. However, I can soften myself up for the right man. And if you are not leadership worthy, you're not gonna lead me to the gutter, okay? Like, you're not gonna lead me to the gutter. Like, if you're not doing the right thing, I can't completely put all my trust of my life and my children and my career and my well-being in you, and know that no matter what happens to me, you got me. Whatever decisions you make is in the best interest of me, my well-being, and any offspring or any other dependents that we have, then I will not submit to you. And I find that not many of these men are holding up to their part. Therefore, what do you think we just gonna sit here and submit to you? Especially if they're the type of man that is out lying to you, cheating, don't want to hold the proper jobs, don't want to hold their place in society properly, then guess what, bruh? We got a problem. Because these Black women here in the United States, we've been having to carry our race for way too long because of the failures of you guys. And we want you to lead. We don't want to be this hard. We don't want to have to be this strong. We would love to fall back and be like, baby, handle that. And know that you can handle it. Okay, who next? I'm done. I'm just saying.
No, she said everything.
You need to get that off your
This is personal to me because I be approached like that.
Yeah, I know. So I will say, like, over the past a lot of years, I don't even know when, it's always been around. Like, it's always been a thing, but now it's thinging. Now it's like really I swear to God, it's the internet, it's social media, it's mental illness. It's like all the stuff that they're listening to, that they're letting. I was just watching a documentary, and it wasn't even related to Black men at all whatsoever. It's on Hulu, about some little white kid who unalived his roommate and blamed it on sleepwalking. But there was this Black woman doctor on there talking about toxic masculinity and what it has done to this newer generation of boys, men in general, coming up through this social media age and stuff like that, where like you have these men or people in general, you could take all people in general, whereas he's trying to figure out his manhood, right? Or whatever the case may be. He might not have a father figure in the home. He might not have anyone to be like that compass or that model for what he needs to be out here doing as a man, right? So typically they have about a handful of friends. So you can compare yourself, okay, I should be doing that. Or like make comparisons to your friend group, your peer group. And now you can go on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on IG, and you have about 40, 50,000 people that you are now trying to measure up to and compare yourself to and compete with, even though that shit sounds ridiculous to me because you're competing with people who don't know you, you don't know them. But it's like now you see all of this content and all of these people, and now you're measuring your value and you're already insecure, feeling inadequate. And now you're looking at all of these people through the internet and you're taking self inventory, and boom, toxic masculinity, which they try to say that isn't a thing, but I definitely feel that that's a thing. They just feel like they need something to control, and the easiest group and the easiest targets to control is women, specifically Black women, because they feel we're going to tolerate it, we're going to take it, we're going to shut up about it, probably because previous generations of ours have, for the most part, sat there, ate their fucking food, and shut up about it.
But who do they think told us to get the education, get the bank accounts? It was the grandmas and the aunties who sat there and shut up and ate their food because they knew at that time, hey, I can't get no bank account without this man. Hey, I can't take care of these babies without this man. Yeah, he might got the family with the neighbor next door and our kids play together because that's what happened to my grandma. But it's like, who do you think was just like, hey, baby, make sure you go read them books. Make sure you go do what you need to do to be able to put yourself in a better position. And then what ends up happening is you have a lot of the men in 2022 saying rhetoric about things that happened when most of us were not even born. There's a lot of things that are coming up, especially when they say, oh, the government put the black man out the house. I was like, most of y'all were not born. I know I wouldn't when those things were happening. I was like, but it you can read a book. That's not what happened. And we're finding, especially with social media, a lot of people are creating their own narratives and believe for it to be true. And it's you can believe I can believe I'm a unicorn every day. I ain't got no horn. I ain't got no rainbow hair. I own some glitter makeup, but that's about it. It doesn't make it accurate. It really doesn't. And what makes it sad is you see a lot of our men saying, oh, I'm supposed to lead and protect. Lead me where, baby? What's the plan?
They ain't got one.
I just had this conversation. I just had this conversation with an ex because I don't know what it is about my relationship past, but they all seem to always try to circle back to tell me that they love me and they mess up, but then they don't do nothing about it. And one of my exes called me the other day and I was like, oh, I hope you're well. I hope the family's well. You know, I don't wish no ill will on nobody. He was like, I made a mistake and I want to marry you. Okay, what's your plan? I got a whole little person I'm responsible for. And you're saying a lot of nice words right now that sound cute. But what is your plan? What is the execution? What are we gonna do that's supposed to make this fit when it didn't fit before? What's the plan? Well, you know, you better at planning. Nah, I'm tired of planning. I'm gonna make sure that the little person.
But you want us to shut up though when you want us to shut up. When we got an issue, we supposed to shut up though, right?
I'm not never gonna do that. That's part of the issue now. I can. I have one ex. There's a lot of issues and some things outside of our control. But when I tell you how like soft and quiet and like loving and everything I was around that man, now he had plans. It's just I think it was right person, wrong time situation. This other fool, well, you better be planning than me. I'm not planning nothing. You know what I'm gonna plan? To go to bed. I'm gonna plan for this baby to eat. I'm gonna plan for this baby to eat.
Then
I'm gonna plan.
I'm better at the planning though, like than you following me. So why would I submit to you?
Listen,
you told me that I'm better. I'm better at the job that you told me you were supposed to be fit for that.
Listen, until some deeds and some car titles are in my name, we have nothing to discuss. Because what we're not gonna do is repeat foolishness. That's what we're not gonna do. And I'm thinking this. I find it funny because he's just like, I'm ready to settle down. Are you now? I'm ready to find a hair growth product that works, but you know we're still sitting here waiting. Like I don't know what they want, and I don't think that they know what they want either. And it's a problem. I want somebody to be submissive. You want somebody to be subservient because you're accustomed to your mother raising you and taking care of all of your needs, and you want a mother that you can have an adult activities with, who can do all these things, and shut up. But even
Yes,
then, you
ma'am.
didn't shut up.
Y'all, listen. You can continue to keep trying to shut us black women up. And there's some of us that do shut up now, right?
Yeah,
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. There's some reasons why they shutting up. Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because I got another issue. Aya, please, my dear, humor me and pull up the definition of an alpha man.
Oh, Jesus.
And a beta man. If I hear that
go.
one more time from one more of these men, I don't know what book they've been reading, Okay,
look up
or the
beta.
man that just passed away, they've been listening to. But listen, we gonna break this down tonight because we gonna clear this once and for all. Because I'm not gonna keep talking to these men because I feel if you are alpha, bruh, and we not bashing y'all tonight. This is a fact. This is. I hope there's some men watching us because this is a real issue in our community. Instead of you guys loving on us, appreciating us. Like Miss what is it, Anla?
You can just say Miss Diva.
Okay,
This
Miss Diva.
is the
Like Miss
easiest
Diva
way.
said, she know how to plan and do this. My problem is these men that come here. I'm an alpha man. Listen, baby, if you an alpha man, you ain't got to say it. When you come in the room, I'm a feeling. Everybody gonna respect your presence. And I know we all have seen men like that. They come in the room and they say something, and everybody just like, oh. And they don't run around yelling they the alpha man. Like, I'm sick of that. I'll pull that up, please.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Talk about that.
there's so many different websites, but you know, I did a video on this. They
Pull
don't.
up the Urban Dictionary one, because we
Not
talk.
the Urban Dictionary. I pulled up Google for beta male.
Okay, what does it say, Miss Diva?
So beta male says a subordinate male animal in a particular group. Alpha and beta males will share paternity of cubs.
Look, they done froze her up. They don't want to hear it.
Lord,
Ah,
I'm still
that was.
talking.
Oh,
Do
there you
y'all hear me?
go. I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
It says beta male, a subordinate male animal in a particular group. It says alpha and beta males will share paternity of cubs. And then the second definition says a man tending to assume a passive or subservient role in social and professional situations. And the example under that was there's nothing macho about him. He's a total beta male. So that's ego,
Yeah, that's
in my opinion.
yeah.
I want a man that can acknowledge that it's something going on. Let me go seek some help and be able to do what he needs to do as a man, including check other men. But that doesn't mean that because he's able to acknowledge his emotions or his feelings, that it makes him less of a man than somebody in the gym pumping
exactly.
protein drinks, all that stuff like they do on TikTok because they be over there tripping. Don't let no
But you know
they
what?
be walking the gym.
I
They be
think with
ready.
Because
TikTok and all the other social media outlets, with this whole thing, it's
yeah,
almost like groupthink. You don't know what to think, so you're just gonna follow and whatever sounds good because you don't have an example of what it is.
they looking for a father. They don't. It's you just start to realize through social media, anyways, what it shows you, and I think that's why our problems are being so magnified now, and it's like on a global screen for it's televised. It's like the reality show of the Black community every single day, 24/7 a day, right? And we're
Sure
telling
do.
all of our bull s that used to be hidden because we kept it off. Like we didn't have all this. Our
We
mamas,
didn't.
they didn't have all of this, right? I know
Right.
the thing you learn in your household is, don't tell people what's going on in this house, blah blah. And
Exactly. That's how I still kind of feel.
now we brought everybody into the house, and they out there wilding out, and just everyone's sitting back, taking a back seat, watching us, like watching the show. Like, look at this.
Let's
Those
see what the
situations are
circus gonna
different.
do today.
Those situations are so different because I swear I wish people have no clue about what I do in reference to my child's father, and that's because I chose to keep it that way. Like they know he exists, they know he Black, they know we got a son. Like that's what they know. But any of the like the side stuff, anything that has been brought to social media has been because that man has been very vocal about issues that was not public, that shouldn't have been public knowledge. So like
Sure
when you
enough.
got a platform of people that's gonna gas you up, oh, they be ready. They feed off of it.
Right.
The internet, social media has made people very bold nowadays because a lot of these people talking trash on the internet, they wouldn't do that to people's faces.
No.
Oh no, they say ride up on them. You always notice they say that. Come on, ride
Yes.
up on me. Ride up
Yes.
on me. I said, boy, you better be careful what you ask for.
I was that chick.
Oh, by the way, hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi, Pamela.
They call me Chunky Chocolate Cougar over there, but my government name is Pamela. How y'all doing?
I'm
Hey, how
good.
you
How are
doing?
you?
But yeah,
that
they
pull up
get
on
off the
you.
chain about that. And I was talking to Aya. I was telling her what happened this morning. I was watching a live on TikTok. I ain't gonna throw nobody's name out there, but it was just like the most stereotypical
Deep.
men. There was two alphas, and there was a one guy. They said it was a beta, and it was just like a guppy in a pond full of piranha.
Oh,
But there
Jesus.
was
geez.
really, and they chopped that man down. They called him all kinds of fairies, f words. They
Oh,
got so
wow.
bad, honey. They all got kicked off of the live. TikTok pulled them out when they could apologize. They pulled them out. I was just like, I guess TikTok wanted them coins because they definitely rose in numbers for viewers. But once they made the piece, I was like, no need for them now, yank. And that's what they want to see. They want to see that really high testosterone, over machismo having man that wants to have control over his woman. And I'm just like, well, what exactly is control? Why don't you tell me what it is?
But
Because I could.
But
that's
they
at the
don't know.
cost of to destroy another human being, another black man.
They were
Well,
talking about that man like a dog, and there
Oh,
was three
wow.
of them in there.
I don't mean to laugh, but you know what?
I think the
Like,
internet is their playground at this point. Like, it's their playground. They have free reign to run around the internet and do it, create new personas, like their father who just recently passed.
their recent queen.
Create a
Please stop.
Their recent queen. No. We gotta hold on. Hold on.
yeah.
I gotta try to say it without laughing because people are sensitive. Hold on. Their recent queen that is no longer here. They are very, very, very sensitive. I have been called Big Shirley a few times for asking them not to, disrespect black women or BBW black women. Or waiting to hear confirmation about their queen who is no longer on this plane of earth. And when I tell you I didn't get cussed out, I was like, I was just asking you not to talk about me. I didn't, I wasn't there.
Anyway, speaking of that person, wait,
Mine ain't
before
large.
we go to him. So the definition of the alpha guy, right? Which we know already they don't qualify to be. It says here the 12 thing. No, this is okay. The 12 signs of what an alpha man is. He's self-sufficient because you can't be an alpha if you are not self-sufficient. That means
Hmm.
not rely on other people to solve your problems, to pay your bills, to provide for you, or to put you into action. Because y'all
Right.
just act, y'all just do. Okay? Y'all have inner strength and power. Natural born alphas have an incredible amount of inner strength, tenacity, survival instinct. If they get knocked down at the first, they don't mope or feel sorry for themselves. Their first reaction
ooh,
is to get back up
Jesus.
and continue on their journey. Okay, that's what it says. Number 3 is they have inner reflection. They
I mean,
have
that was number two. That all was number two.
Wait. We only hold on.
I know
Wait,
that was pretty lengthy.
hold on.
oh,
This
it's more.
sound like you describing
I'm just
us.
giving y'all snippets because it's a lot on the screen. Number 3, they have inner reflection, the realization that I needed to wake up in my life and get myself together.
It's
They,
never them.
yeah, they have the power to self-reflect on myself, my life, and my purpose.
Lord
That's
Mm.
what
Jesus.
they have the power to do. They have strong leadership qualities. You can only be so strong and effective on your own, and they understand that it takes a team, or it might take a team. Um, Bold. They are bold. There is no room in this brutal, unkind world for weakness. They are
They
Well,
bold.
you got
absolutely
one at
that.
least.
They bold with audacity. They got
Yeah,
that one.
all the audacity.
They
That's
got
the
all
only
the
one. That's
audacity.
the only one I seen checked yet.
Jeff Bezos had a sale and we missed it. They got that.
Can a man be a combination of both though?
I think so.
Because
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
yeah.
I don't believe in this stuff, and they believe in this stuff. Intentionality.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is intentionality? La, la, la. They understand they need to escape their emotional reactions and behave in a rational manner if they want to affect change in the world.
Mm.
Pride. Alpha males are very proud men. So, okay, well, that's a man trait.
Okay, so now I understand why some will yell that I'm an alpha male, right? Okay, you can listen. You got your own house check. You pay your own bills. Okay. You're seeking to make an impact in the world somehow. What was that? Oh, you don't mope in your emotions. Oh, I know a
Oh,
whole lot. That's gonna knock them way off the
that
list.
just knocked
Okay.
a whole bunch of them out.
And then I mean, I was trying to hear all of the things that they were saying. They were okay. Listen, you can be all of those things. But my problem is, what is the obsession with dominating the Black woman? And I'm gonna tell you from I spoke with one of my male friends, about this topic.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I was like, I was married for a long time, right? And now I'm divorced and I call myself trying to date, but anyway, so I'm dating, right? And I'm noticing all this rhetoric that's like it's some propaganda that everybody, like some Kool-Aid they all drink or something, right? And they're like, oh, I'm alpha male and you need a beta male, like, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, who wants to push over men? Like, I mean, I don't want that.
Is the beta
But
male really a pushover though?
that's what
No,
they say. They say
that's what
that
they
he
think.
have his own. He don't have nothing. You just tell him where to go, how to jump, and he say how high, and you just
I
walking all
think that's
over.
just a pushover. I don't think that has anything to do with the
A
quote
beta.
unquote beta.
So anywho, so I asked him, I said, what is this thing with wanting to dominate and make Black women submit, right?
Uh-huh.
And he told me, he was like, well, right now the thing that's going on with Black men is like, we feel like we go out into this world and we get beat down. We can't control our careers. We can't control what's going on in an outside world. We have so many things going against us. And then when we come home, then we come home to attitude, right? And then when we come home to this attitude, we're like, we want to control our woman because we can't control nothing else in the world. So if you can't even control your own woman, then you ain't nothing.
What else can you control? It's just
So
How about your dad?
I was trying to breathe. I was
Baby,
trying to breathe so that you could
say
get it
that
listen,
all
again,
out.
Tam. Pay them damn bills.
I appreciated him telling me this. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yes, it really is a thing. Like, we feel that I think they go amongst each other, like you guys saw that pissing match. That Pamela said she saw that pissing match that they had, right? And it
Right.
was like, oh man, your woman tell you what? Oh, you can't control your woman. And they just lose their man card amongst their friends or whoever they talking to about this at
So
work or something. I don't know.
can we just admit that they're trying to impress themselves and each other? Because
Right.
all of that, I'm glad that you had the conversation. I had to take some deep breaths because I'm working on self-control while you were saying all of that, because at the end of the day, we got to control our women. Who controlled Big Mama if you was raised in a single household? So I'm just trying to figure out where the rhetoric comes from when the majority of you guys were raised by Black women who had to make it happen in order for you to survive. Oh, we got to control our women. Since when? That's y'all's issue. Y'all, we fighting against the world. But they don't even have the thought process to figure out, so are we.
So are we.
I think I have a unique experience, and I think I told Ayana. My dad, he would have been 101 this year.
Oh
wow.
But he was child. He couldn't
Oh.
afford a Jaguar. That was his midlife crisis period. He got a baby, so he got me. I think I was much better than the Jaguar because at least I didn't break down. I increased in value. But with that said, his father, which was born before 1900s,
wow,
they had that harsh treatment of a woman to the point where they didn't even have to say anything. They would look at the woman and knew exactly what that meant. So the perfect story that he told my mom once, my mom gave him a response back. But he said, yeah, my mother bought a dress because she wanted to look good for my dad, and he looked at the dress and scoffed, and he didn't have to say anything. She knew what that meant. She took the dress and she put it away, and it never came out again, a brand new dress. And this was the same man who bought into, I mean, he was almost like Andrew on Django. I think Samuel L. Jackson's character, my grandfather sounded like that man. I never met him because he died on my birthday. When I was born is when the man died. Lord knew what he was doing. I'm just gonna say it like that, whatever the case may be. But he did that and bred it in my father. And so my father had this thing where he felt he had to prove things and be the man's man, and that a woman's supposed to listen. And see, I wasn't that one. I'm the youngest and I'm the girl. So, he didn't realize that deep down I had the Vera Walker spirit in me. Quick, trash cans and all this, and I mean all that stuff. But he did that to my mom for a period of time where he broke her down where her self-esteem was low, and I had to go, no, that's not the case. But he caught his day with her when he lived separately from us. So he was my father, he was my brother's father. My mother was divorced from their dad. But to make a long story short, he caught my mother on that one day, like when Tina had kicked Ike in the balls in the limousine. And she said, "That's all you got. That's all you got." So he caught Mama in one of those, "That's all you got" moment. And he said something, and my mother clicked like Linda Blair on The Exorcist, and I didn't know who my mother was. And I never seen a man run from the third floor to the first floor, out the door, down the stairs, down the street. And my mother had a big old planter. It was like a 18-inch clay planter. And my mother was like the best football quarterback there was, but instead was that planter. And she shot that sucker, and physics worked to their favor. The projection of it, I could see it to this day. He wasn't an alpha that day. I don't even think he was a beta. I think he was a theta when my mama got done with him. That man ran so fast, Richard Pryor couldn't keep up with him. But the next day, he was like, "Oh, I just gave you a moment." She said, "Honey, you was 6 feet away from meeting your makers." Songs like slow singing and casket bringing. But yeah, that whole notion of I come home, you supposed to submit. And it wasn't even, you ain't even living here, you think you can rule it. My mother had to change that. But yeah, they are like that. My grandfather, her father was like that, but he was a fusser. He didn't say much, but dinner had to be on his table at 6 o'clock, served a certain way. He said the food was inedible, and I agree with my mother's father because my grandmother couldn't cook, but they argued with each other. But there was an understanding that a man was a breadwinner, and they cheat. You can't say nothing. They do what they want. You can't say nothing, but you have to cook, clean, take care of them children, and make for sure that everything, that you're a good image on him. But he could be out there slinging and slanging everything, and it's a man. He's just a man. You have to forgive him. He's a man.
But
and then I come now.
That still means that our black men fall under the umbrella of patriarchy.
Yeah.
Sure did.
They
For the
still
ones
trying
in
to do that.
2022, the ones who still live in 2022 right now are still talking about. I heard some man say, it need to be like it was back in the 1950s. I said, do you realize that
I've heard
these
that
color
too.
people didn't like y'all back in the 1950s? Y'all had voting rights before these women, and y'all did nothing with it outside of fight to marry interracially. You did nothing for the community. But y'all want things to go back to the way it was. Y'all wasn't winning then either.
You know what, Miss Diva? I'm gonna piggyback on that. I would.
I be
Pamela,
crying, yo.
I love what you just said because that broke it down. And then Miss Diva, you said that they wanted to be back like that. Well, guess what? Here's the dynamics of 2022. Black women, we were taught by the other generation that had to deal with what Pam just talked about. Listen, baby, we want you to go get an education. We want you to know how to do things for yourself. We don't want you to go through what we went through. And then let's not even talk about the 80s and 90s during the crack era when they started locking up all the men and all of that. And the mothers was on, a lot of the mothers was on drugs and different things like that. Then the women really had to take on the community. And we watched Big Mama raise all the grandkids. And we was like, listen, that ain't gonna be us. We gonna take care of ours. So now they looking at a dilemma. They looking at a society now where the black women are more educated, make more money, have their own deeds, have their own cars, have all of this stuff, and that now they don't know where their place is. Well, guess what? Guess what? Yeah, we know some women out here no longer need you to be the provider and just have us barefoot and pregnant cooking your food and leaving a big piece of chicken on the table for you. Like, no, those days are over.
That's my chicken.
The days are over. So now we need you guys to evolve with us. We had to evolve into a provider role that we didn't want to do, but we had to do. So now that we're in this role, guess what your role is now to these women that don't need you to dominate and make them subservient to you. And a lot of times you're not even making nearly as much money. You're not as educated. Yes, you have the children. And I'm not saying this to say like, oh, we're better than you. We're just saying now what we need is what Miss Diva was saying. We need some emotional intelligence. We need some vulnerability.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
need your companion. We never said we don't need you now. We need your companionship. We need your intimacy. And how about instead of making us submissive, why don't you love us for once? Because we are the most hated of all in society.
Chill it like it is, child.
And where the problem comes in at is the rhetoric where there's some men that's like, well, y'all said y'all don't need us. We don't need y'all to have a bank account. We don't need y'all to have property. We don't need y'all for the things that y'all are yelling about protecting and providing when y'all are not protecting and or providing. Y'all are not protecting and or providing. You guys, like one man, what did I put up? I put up on TikTok a video about the black guy in Florida who was unalived by his OnlyFans white girlfriend.
Oh,
And
the
I said,
African guy.
yeah, and I said, listen, y'all. I said, at the end of the day, I said, y'all can find a Karen and get y'all some t-shirts made, and y'all can hop on a Spirit and go down to Florida and fight for your homeboy. Well, what is black women gonna do? We're gonna mind our business because he did not even like women that looked like his mother. And they're like, well, we're the ones in charge. We're the leaders. I said, then lead, baby. There's nothing that I said that is preventing you from leading. Actually, I know a girl that make t-shirts. If y'all want some, she can cut you a deal. Y'all can lead. Spirit got sales. Go down there and fight for your brother. Go down there and fight for the fellow black man that look like you. Well, what is black women gonna do? Y'all are celebrating this man's death. He would have personally care on some level, but they did not even band together for.
You breaking up.
Sorry, everyone. We're having some technical difficulties. Yeah, but she was talking some good stuff. Go ahead, Aya.
Marco.
Oh, is she back?
We back.
Marco.
Okay.
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It boggles my mind. Like I think back to, so my dad was married 5 times. And the thing about it was with our relationship, he never lied to me about what had happened, his intentions, the reasons why he left his marriages. And at the end, when my stepmother, his last wife, got sick, he stepped into the caretaker role for this wife, the role he had never been in before. And that was the marriage he stayed in until he passed. But it was like my dad was never the man, like he wasn't very aggressive, but he was very like stern. And I was like, I don't understand why other men can't just say, hey, like, this isn't what I like. This isn't what I want. I want to move on to something else without destroying somebody in the process. Now, my uncles and them, crazy. My uncle be trying to fight deacons, like, and my daddy be like, well, let's just pray for him. Like, you can be with a man that has different dynamics, but when it comes down to you being in a relationship with somebody, I miss the mark where our men just don't want to communicate, don't want to be forthcoming. They are like proudly on these YouTube streets talking about how they can manipulate women, and in order for you to get what you want, you gotta lie to them sometimes. But then y'all are upset if that energy is reciprocated.
Or we say,
Right.
oh, like, oh, don't say oh, they just go off.
Or if
Do
you
not, please, don't say
and when
all.
you lie, you creating a whole headache for yourself
Yeah, like, just be
from
true.
us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lie.
Like, what
And
is
then you like, oh, she tripping, she this, she that. Show me a woman who angry at a man, and I will show you what he did.
give me the option? And then if I say no, hey, float on to the next one. Oh well.
But
Right, you
that's
got
the
options.
issue. That's the
That's
issue. They're not even being honest with themselves.
Right.
It was another female TikToker, a pretty black girl, who said she met a dude who was like, I don't want no stress. I just want this to hook up. I don't want no feelings. She was like, I bet. And so she went over there. They did the do. She said she went to the bathroom. She was putting on her clothes. And he was like, what, you not going to lay here and talk? She said, for what? And she said about 2 days later, she said 2 days later, he was like, I don't like how you just be treating me like you don't care about me. She was like, but I don't. You said that you did not want feelings involved, and said that that man was hurt, that he was hurt. And I was like,
Ooh,
but
Jesus.
you literally told her to detach emotionally. And that's exactly what she did. She did exactly what you said. And now you mad that she don't care.
Basically.
I don't think they know.
you just want to play games. Stop playing.
I'm not Monopoly.
You this is what you really wanted. Instead, you went for the lesser of the two. Because maybe you felt that she wasn't gonna want what you wanted also. But going way back, because y'all know I got a soft voice. So y'all got big voices. So I have to pedal it all the way back because I'm going to piggyback off of what Pamela was telling us about the dynamic growing up, and then what
I
Kid.
hear some static.
That's Pam eating chips.
Pam, she's tearing
I
them
got you.
up.
And what you see,
I'm sorry. I had just cooked for my mom, and I got baby Ruth. I'm sorry. I haven't been on CBD or anything like that. I'm just sitting here trying to get a snack. I'm talking. Look, I'm amongst women, so when I'm around comfortable friends, I snack. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna find some
Okay.
softer snacks next time.
No,
Some
it's
softer
okay. Just
snacks.
mute your mic so we can hear Aya because she got a soft voice. She said we talking to her. Go ahead, girl.
because y'all got loud voices. I like the loud voices. I'm not saying loud like stereotypical loud, but I can't get my points in because y'all making some good points. But I was going to say, and my theory is based on my observation over the years of dealing with the penis people.
Not the penis people. Here we go.
I call them the penis people. So my observation over the years with dealing with the penis people is, I feel like for the most part, for a large part of it is they have nothing to model after, because. And that's really, truth be told, y'all want to blame us and put all this hate and vitriol on Black women. And like, we've been the villain. Y'all been villainized us since whenever the hell we left the plantation. Y'all decided that we need a villain in this story. We know y'all the villains. And we've been the villains ever since, right? And now it's at an all-time high because you see it. It's more visible now. But it's always been there that we have been the villains, and we have taken all the crap and we have just carried it on our backs and not said anything and dealt with it and put up with it, all for the image of and for the sake of, to uphold you and to understand your trauma and your pain. And especially back then, I get it. I get why it was important to uplift y'all. Back then I understood why, because y'all was beaten down and all this stuff and dehumanized and the butt breaking and treated lesser than, so I emasculated. But so I get why we needed to root for y'all and be on y'all team and stick beside them and uplift y'all and, you know, tolerate the abuse, because we're not even gonna talk, y'all, they love romanticizing the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and stuff, and y'all act like we was in these loving families just doing the darn thing. We was living it up. He was going out there to the factory job and she was at home with the kids. She was all happy and taken care of and being loved correctly, and that could not be farther from the truth for most households, okay, including MLK. All right,
Right.
including MLK. That was so far from the darn truth. They was getting abused and beaten, and their kids was getting abused and beaten. Y'all was
Cheated on.
Cheated on.
families all over town, here, there, everywhere. Y'all was doing all types of stuff to y'all been victimizing us and abusing us for a very long time. But I think the main thing of it is that they have nothing to model after. They don't know what a man should be. They don't know, because y'all love to blame, oh, the single black mothers, y'all. Oh, it's just some phenomenon that we became single black mothers. Like, oh, who made us the single black? I don't know who did it.
Jesus.
Jesus did it.
Jesus.
Immaculate conception.
Jesus. Jesus. Wait a minute. Jesus.
Jesus wasn't making house calls like that, child. Jesus can't hit every house. I mean, he had them magic fingers, but he wasn't twanging everybody now.
Let me get Jesus.
Don't blame it on Jesus.
Where is my child support at? Jesus.
It was Jesus, Jaquan Christ. Let's make sure we got the right Jesus.
No,
you know,
y'all fathers. It was y'all fathers. It's the ones that y'all really met. It was y'all fathers. That's why you don't know how to be a man, because your father stepped out. Because your father wasn't there. It was y'all daddies.
It was y'all daddies
that was leaving us to pick up the pieces like we always do. Y'all left it up to black women to pick up the pieces like we always freaking do, all the time.
Like they try to tell.
Also, I think that's a huge part of it. Y'all don't know.
Aya, I'm gonna let you keep going, but I'm gonna say something that you said. Even when you try to correct your black son, they got something to say about it.
Oh, I'll be ready to fight mine. I'll be ready.
In the blood, it's in the
blood. Oh, the way you talk to him,
ready.
He ain't gonna want to talk to black women. What?
It's in the blood.
I check my 7-year-old often. I now know throughout these 7 years the man that I had a child with, and what we will not do in this house is we're not going to be disrespectful. We're not going to sit up here and do things and then say I'm sorry because you think that sorry is just the easiest way to get out of things. You're going to learn that, hey, your actions have consequences and you need to have some accountability. And I had somebody tell me, well, he's too young to know that. I said, oh, y'all think disrespect is cute at 4 until he get 14 and I'm boxing with him about his disrespect. I said, and by that time it's too late. I said, then by the time he's 24 and he's up here disrespecting somebody's daughter, then me and him gonna have beef.
Then they gonna be calling your phone.
Exactly.
I don't want nobody's daughter calling my phone.
Yeah. So no, you check them, you correct it early, correct that behavior early, especially in
my thing is though, boys when they get older. I don't know if anyone has a teenage son yet, but I do. I love my son.
I raised 3.
Will say, oh yes. So I know you could.
No, they were my brother's kids though. They were child. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna tell you a good juicy story. The tale of 2 Jodis. Go ahead, sister.
So my thing is, it is hard with black sons. Like with the way these like you can pour into them all you want. You can only really teach them how you want them to treat a woman, right? But you can't really like make them into a man. Like there is a lot of black women who are single mothers to black boys and they do the best they can and they do pour into them, and you know they become men, right? They become men, but at the end of the day, I do agree with the statement, we can't teach them how to be men, but we can teach them what we want them to be as a man, right? What we would have desired a man to be, right? But at the same time, they still look to the daddy. And if he ain't doing right, and he could be the alpha man and he has everything, he's just upstanding in his community, he's this and that, but he don't know how to treat no woman properly.
No, he don't.
And if they're not looking towards him, if his father is around, they gonna resent you because the daddy ain't around. So either way it go,
And
I
if you
go
yell at
either
your son to correct them, I have had other black men. That's what you can't yell at your black. How do you talk to him? Excuse me,
way.
I
Yeah, I will
birthed
say,
this
like,
child.
I will say, because they're like we talked about it on the motherhood episode, like they're like guys are way
They
more
don't listen.
fragile than girls will ever be. Guys get their feelings hurt. Boys are way more sensitive than girls.
They
Boys
do
are
not listen.
way more sensitive.
None of them. None of them listen. I've figured this out. I only have one child and I have a son. And I noticed like when he was like 2 or 3, him and his daddy would do the same thing when I was talking to that person that I have a child with. But they did the same thing. That not hearing us, I think that's all of them. I don't
It's
think that it
hereditary. It's in
just
the
they
DNA.
got older and it started. Like my son the other day, he did something. I was like, little boy, I know you hear me, huh? I know you hear me. I'm not a quiet woman. I know that you hear what I'm saying. I really think that is a male thing. Like, and that's something that science got to figure out because we can't figure that one out. I think that's all of them.
And it's like even with your boy, like they used to always say, like, oh, boys have this special kind of love for their mother and this and that.
Oh,
But I feel like when they get to a certain age, they look at you like you a woman. Like you their mother, but all of a sudden they feel like they could be disrespectful and you like trying to figure out what to do with them at that point.
my
But
Yeah, 'cause
homegirl has a teenage son, and one time I got real scared for that boy because if you look at her, she's like this 5'2", gorgeous, little short, little petite, real pretty. I don't know what he did this day that I was on the phone with her, but I saw her phone go up and she was like, hold on 1 second, mute. And I saw her take off. I have
Oh,
no clue what this boy did, but all I'm doing is yelling. I'm like, whatever you did, just say sorry. Say sorry. Because
oh,
I have never seen her like 5'2", hair down past her butt. I've never seen this girl angry. And she came back, she was like, I'm sick of him. Sick of. I was like, whoa, what happened here? And now I'm like, oh God, my son's not a teenager yet. So I don't like her dynamic with her oldest child is completely different than like mine with my younger son. But it's like when you have men say, oh, well, you can't talk to him like that. But where are our role models? Like I've been fortunate to where my son's great grandfather on dad's side and great uncle have stepped in, and then my dad's brothers have also been like very present on like, hey, correcting him. Hey, the expectations is this, and yeah, he's young, but it's like we set the standard. So even though I would personally like for his dad to be the present one. His father's made the decision not to be. I can't force him to do something he don't want to do. But I've tried to rally a community of positive black men around my child. Indeed, none of these men have life figured out, but they also have provided for their families, have done what they needed to do, and respect black women in the process. And that's the type of dynamic I want around my child.
and my
I
thing
think
is,
maybe that's it. You see, maybe it's like when they I mean, I do know in general, you gotta watch how you speak to your kids because you
Right.
like you said, you speak life into your kids. So if you're always constantly you ain't ish or you ain't how
I
like
never will.
right,
you better
I
you
can't
this
stand that.
don't those
right,
that's what I don't like. I don't agree with
hmm,
anyone doing that to their children. But
right.
maybe with the boys, it's more so they will take what you're saying coming from a guy better than coming from you.
Right.
And that's
So
fine and dandy, but I have a problem when your mom, dad's not in the home. You don't want to listen to what mom says, but you're gonna listen to some man down the street to tell
yeah,
you
yeah,
something. That
yeah.
is just. But my thing is, and I don't know how you ladies feel, but I think that when it comes to your son, especially if I don't care how successful the father is, if a man has to like say to your son in front of you, like validate your whole presence, I feel,
Yeah.
and say, this is your mother. You need
Right.
to protect your mother. You need to honor your mother because at the end of the day, no parent is perfect, but this is still your mother. I feel like when they get to a certain age, some man has to say that to
That's
him,
important.
Has to reinforce it. Yeah.
but not just behind your back and closed doors, like
In
with you
front of the
present.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, PM, we're PM. Yes, PM in front of the kid.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Let me tell you something. That's really, really. I don't know if you can see my face moving, so I know I look like I got something in my mouth, but I promise I don't have anything. I finished snacking. But here's the deal. I'm the youngest, and I'm my mother's only girl. And I had lived with my two older brothers, and both of them, the best way to say it, I can't even say they definitely were not alpha. And I question beta, maybe theta, whichever. Pick a Roman, pick one of those letters that ain't alpha and beta, because it's one of them other ones. Pi, maybe, yeah, pi, because that's all they was into was pi. That pi is what got me in the mess. But my second, the one that was closest to me, and he's 2 days apart, but 7 years away, but in age. But what happened was he got a girl knocked up. She was a teenager, and her mother had just died. She was in our church, and I remember that woman. I love that woman, Miss. I ain't gonna say her name, but Miss Chelsea. Okay, no, I don't want to say Chelsea, but another name. Give her another Miss Bertha. Okay, so Miss Bertha was one that she took money. I mean, she took what little she had and she stretched it. And her husband, which was neither of her kids' father, that man dogged her out. They would go to the restaurant and he would pretend like he was paying for the meals for everyone. Did you know that sucker made her pay him for all of her guests? At the side,
Yeah.
he had to pay her. So she ended up having a heart attack in the church and she died. And that's how they found out that she was 3 months pregnant. So my mother being the
Aw.
one, she was the fourth of 14 kids. Cause I mean, honey, I wish condoms was something back then. Cause I mean, them 14 kids, my mother's family child, that's a story on its own. That's another episode that whoever's a hold you, that's another episode, girl. But anyway, so my brother got her knocked up. That was his birthday gift from her. He got some of that.
StreamYard.
And she got knocked up. When the baby was born, I was 12 years old. And do you know, because of our family, we babied the men.
Mm-hmm.
Always took care of them. My grandmother had her four youngest boys. That was her boys, her boys, her boys. Couldn't do no wrong. But honey, they forever in jail. They were forever in jail. I mean, jail was like they hired a hotel. But I remember that when that baby was born, my mother made me watch him. I had to babysit him like he was my own. So I ended up being the proxy teenage mother. Mother and the father, which is my brother and the baby mama, ends up living out and having their good life like they single, and I'm stuck with this kid. So then my other brother, who at the time's a crackhead, we don't know if he is now, but whatever the case may be, but he had two kids by this woman, and if I can't say feeble-minded is an understatement of the era, but he got that girl knocked up twice. And I was watching them. So every Saturday I would wake up to three boys. And then when I say three boys, honey, they ate, breathe, and live chicken and ate, I mean, just all of them. And the thing was that they wouldn't listen to anybody, but they would listen to me because I hemmed them up. And I didn't
Right.
have to talk. I could use my words. I didn't have to put my hands on them except one time. But it was that notion, even when I corrected them, the men didn't say nothing about it because they was too busy living their best life, like they were single. And you would think that me making for sure that they never played with toy guns, that was a run rule. You will not have a toy gun in my presence. You read a book, you find a hobby, play basketball, but you're not gonna mess with a toy gun. I had a reason behind that because this was before Rodney King or any of these other gentlemen that passed away, God bless their soul. But with that, two of them managed to escape that, but the one who was the firstborn ended up in jail. with over some dumb mess, hanging with his alpha friends. But when he got arrested, them alpha brothers, alpha snitched on him. He did the time, and the rest of them were living their life. So he has a baby. So now I got a grandnephew that's around me. And I'm doing the same old thing, teaching him. And I felt like it was a cheated situation because I was treating them like I was a man with them to make for sure that they were tough. Know exactly if a boy comes up to you, a bully, you go to the biggest one and you beat they behind. And so that way you ain't got to worry about them bothering you ever again. If someone does something to you and you can't handle them, you call Aunt Pam, and Aunt Pam gonna handle it. She gonna regulate because Pam don't play. And they all knew it. Miss Pam don't play. But now they're now in their 30s, my nephews. They're grown, act like they don't know me. And who do they go back to? They go back to their parents who never showed them any kind of parental guidance, didn't raise them, didn't do anything. But it's the men that they emulate, and the bad behavior that they did is what they emulate the most. They went for the worst women, ended up having kids, doing the wrong things. And so the cycle continues. And I'm sitting here going, well, damn, what the heck did I do wrong? I said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. What you did was you was trying to be a village when the villagers walked away and left you with the pot. And you had to sit there and cook it for everybody. And it's not right because I don't know what alpha male feels like. It was hard. Do you realize how hard it was to explain to them what a wet dream was? I had to explain to them what a wet dream was, birth control. How do you talk to a girl? How do you treat them? Don't hit a girl. Make for sure you treat them with respect. And also making for sure that they respect my mama, because if they don't respect my puma, that's what I call my mother. I'm the cougar, she's the puma. You disrespect puma, you're going to get a hard time. And they realize that in my presence that's the case. But a man should have told them that. A man should have showed them that. And it's frustrating because for Black women, that is the phenomenon that we deal with on a daily basis. We want our boys to be men through a men's guide, but many of them don't want to do the time and take the time to educate these kids. And so I can't explain to them what testosterone does to the body, or how to treat a woman or a man, or how strong you can be, because I don't have men's strength unless I'm pissed. Now, with that one time that one of my nephews tried me, and of course it had to be the biggest one, the one that could eat 2 fried chickens and a Coke. But the next thing I know, one day I'm sitting there and they talked back to me and they said 3 words, and I snapped. And I took that boy's neck and submitted in midair. And I don't know where the strength came from. I think it was Jesus. His daddy. Yeah, that's what we said. Jesus was his daddy, right? So Jesus, his daddy, put that strength in me, and I had his butt submerged in midair. And I said, if you ever talk to me like that, that will be the last words you ever see, and I'll be the last face you ever see before you go up to judgment to St. Peter. And you remember that. But I felt upset about the fact that I had to go there as a female to be an alpha male type, as they say, in order to hem a kid into knowing exactly what respect is. Because a man should have did that. A man should have said that. But that's not the case for many. They don't have it that way.
I don't know, but I'm gonna say yeah, that's because it's like that's like a tale of many. I know so many in the hood that done, grandmothers that done raise their children's children, and then it'll be like they ain't do nothing. Like that's a common tale right there. Like you done put in all this work, you done raised the other people in your family's children, and then they grow up, and then they don't even recognize you. Like you ain't even do nothing. Like
But my
It's
thing is,
just
that's how mothers feel with their sons sometimes too. It's like you done poured into them, you done did all this stuff, you tried to treat them, teach them how to treat a woman, and then they still emulate that man.
or what they think, like or what their version of what they think a man is.
No, they emulate that man. Like PM said, she sat up there, poured everything she could into them boys. And then when they got old enough to do what they wanted, they went and found and wanted to copy the behaviors of their fathers. It's crazy.
Yeah, but what
But
father ain't around?
That scares me though. I do not want my son to copy his father at all.
me neither.
They might have
Me
traits.
neither.
They may have traits of their father.
Well, see, my situation is a little different because unfortunately, my son's father is a product of like teen pregnancy. So even though like my son's grandfather has like openly admitted like, hey, I didn't do all of what I should have done, but I want to make things right and I want to be present not just for my son but for my grandson. But then my baby daddy don't think that his mom did any wrong either, and I pulled her criminal background. She did plenty. And it's just like I'm looking at it from a dynamic that, Lord, this poor child in a grown man's body didn't have a chance with the two parents that he had, and then had the audacity to procreate and then be like, I'm a dad. No, your sperm worked, honey. And so when you have multiple children, and the only thing you know how to do is turn the baby mamas against each other, you're not doing anything to help your families that you've created be progressive and move forward in a positive manner. So like I look at it from the standpoint of I know what my background looked like. I know what my father asked me to do, which was, hey, you need to make sure you try to establish some type of respectful co-parenting so that it's a positive thing for my grandson. And when you put in all the fight and that person won't meet you halfway, but then that person also doesn't realize how their life, how they really didn't have parents themselves.
Mm.
Even though I'm upset that it's been 2 years since he's seen our kid, it's almost like, po baby, you don't even know no better. But at that point of him not knowing no better is when he needs to be like, hey, I need to do better. I need to want to be a better man because I didn't have that growing up. I want to be a better parent because my parents were not where they needed to be because of their own generational trauma. So I need to step up and be the man that I wanted my dad to be. That doesn't even click for most of them.
But that takes like emotional intelligence and a
Oh,
lot
well,
lot
child, he ain't got that is all. He ain't got regular intelligence.
Impact. They don't even realize the impact is what.
Well,
Like I
They're
said,
too emotional. That's the one thing you're intelligent in, being emotional.
they don't know how to be fathers because they wasn't fathers, and they don't know how to be men because they didn't have fathers to model after. Well, and then even if they did have a father, Lord forbid, they did have a father to model after, he might not have been the right role model anyways. So it's like now I just see a bunch of hurt guys running around trying to be this version that they created for themselves. It's like so weird because y'all they all like mimic this same archetype, like this same character of what they think a man is. And it's like this is only a character found within our community. So I know it's a character that y'all created and gave to yourselves. And it's because y'all listening to people who have no idea and clue what that is. And then they look at us and be like, y'all can't tell us what y'all women can't tell us what a man is. I can tell you what it's not. And what it's not is what y'all are out here doing. Um,
But
that,
when does that stop? When does that excuse stop?
that is what it's not because that's not what
When the cycle
yeah,
stops.
that's not
but my thing is,
what it is.
but us as Black women, what they fail to realize is that we actually genuinely care about you and want you to win.
They don't see it that way.
But
Well,
then
I'm
they'll say
saying it.
that,
I'm saying it right now, and I know they don't really watch this, but what I'm saying is, you want us to shut up, but we're saying this because we want our community to survive.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, some, I'm not going to generalize and say all.
Please don't say, oh, they'll get upset.
Yes,
Say all.
some.
Say collectively.
I'm
Let
going
me
to
say
say some.
collectively.
Some.
It's more than some.
Well, I'm going to
I
say
know it's
some.
more than some.
As a qualifier, just say quite a few.
Quite a
Some,
few.
quite a few
Quite a few.
collectively. Okay, I done said it's quite okay. Some, quite
I'm
a
an
few
English teacher, so I'm
collectively.
trying to find the best way I can.
So my thing is, you want us to shut up, right? So okay, guess what though? you guys talking old school granddad who's like, you got to be a provider and get that woman in line.
Then provide.
Oh
Then lead.
Jesus.
Do it.
Even if you're doing that, we want to do stuff now for ourselves too. We have our own mind. We're educated. We do not just want to sit in the house and have babies and cook your dinner. I don't want to do that. I don't know about
It's
y'all.
funny
I don't
though,
want to do
too.
that.
I don't understand why.
I'm 50 years old and I gave it up.
Yeah, it's everyone else has like evolved and moved on, and it's like they're trying to roll back the hands of time.
We ain't going back to
So,
the 50s, bruh.
And it's
so
like I don't understand. Like y'all can't roll back the hands of time. These like we are not with the shits. We're not doing it. We're not with it. It's never going to happen. We're not doing it. We're
there's
not.
a content creator on TikTok named Facts and Snacks. She's from Toronto. And me and her have had dialogue off the app, just discussing different things. And she does something with legal or whatever, very intelligent, does research and different things. She was like, have you noticed that like black women had to like go from having to have a man in order to survive to completely adapting in reference to education, in reference to working, in reference to taking care of the children. And now that we're at a standpoint where it's like, hey, I would like a partner for companionship. They don't even know what that is because they've not taken
They never
time
have
to
to.
adapt and adjust to how the world works.
Mhm.
Because I think it's asinine to have a 30-something-year-old man talking about we need to go back to back in the day. Sir, you were born in 85. What do you know?
Right.
You were
Was
born
you
in
there?
No,
1985.
They
no,
really doing that.
no.
They are doing that right now, Pam. I know you said you
Yes.
50.
They
Oh
These
no,
30
no, no. I was saying no as far as that because like I said, my dad was born in 21. My mom was
That's
born in the
crazy.
40s and I raised kids and I pretty much lost my opportunity to have kids. I lost the opportunity of finding a husband. Trust me, I wanted to be married and have at least one kid, but I'm sitting here watching these three boys. Now there was a point where I called them three bastards because I felt like they robbed me of a
yeah.
lifestyle because I tried to give them what they didn't have. Now I forgot to mention my brother's fathers cheated on my mother. And
Why they
he wasn't
always
a
cheat?
provider. The man was lazy and didn't want to damn work. And his father wasn't in the home.
And
And I
wait,
don't
when
know
was
what
this?
his father was, but
What
chances are
year
he
was this?
went to find a cow to get the milk and never came back because he found somebody from another farm and moved off. But
Damn,
it
but
was
what
that
year
cyclic pattern.
Damn.
So I
they
told my
are
mom that
always
I decided I'm going to live my life.
they are always romanticizing. I'm
Hello?
telling you, they be romanticizing this era where we just was like this
Okay, I can hear you now.
they're always romanticizing this era where like life was harmonious
Oh
time
gosh, you guys are
amongst
let
the
me try to, you know what? Maybe I'm going to leave and come back because I think I'm
okay.
zoning out.
They're always romanticizing this and I don't understand. And then like all that's why I said the logic is flawed. Like they on a different planet. They are on a
Yeah.
different time. They ignore all the data. They don't research. They don't do
Listen.
like
Here's
Google.
here's
They
here's
don't
here's
watch documentaries.
You know
They
what it
don't
is? You gotta get an earpiece, and I think you would be louder.
all right. They don't read books. They don't do any research. They just talk. And it never, the logic, the math never maths right because it's like, what era was this? Like, it's like, make America great again. Like, when was it? When was this era? Yeah, they have been cheating, Rolling Stones, making out of the wedlock babies, abandoning children, leaving her to beyond the welfare that they complain about so much, to take care of the kids that you decided to abandon. So I want to know, when was it this time that y'all want us to go back to? Y'all
Well,
just want us to be stuck and tied to your mercy. That's the time that they want to go back to. Like, let's go back to the
but
50s.
they wasn't winning then either.
well, let me just say this. I gotta say this now. There, not all the men was gone on the welfare and out the home.
Not all of them.
Quite a few.
There,
There was
wait a
some
minute now. Wait a minute now. Let
that
me finish. There is also some very well off men, right? And they wasn't doing right either.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Okay, they stayed with their families. They
Oh,
provided a beautiful life financially, they were there. They have the house. They have this. This is, I'm talking about a kept woman. Okay. But he's probably still out cheating too.
Mm-hmm.
He was
And the
still out
aunties
doing
and
whatever he want to do too.
them told her to shut up because she was a kept woman.
Girl,
She had a house,
you
she had
living
a
real
car.
good.
You
You
living
bet
real good.
you living
Let him
real
do.
good.
Let a
Let him
man
do
be a
what he
man.
do. Because guess what? If you leave him, they all gonna do it to you. They all got about the same way. So you better just
Hey,
stay there and
what's that
keep your
song?
mouth
You
shut.
always quote.
Betty Wright. She said, having a piece of man better than having
Is
any
that
man at all.
Having a piece of a toy won't cheat on you.
I
I
believe
just
that
don't say what it
it
is.
still bugged me out. That was a song, having a piece of a man.
But it like the
Don't
I've
blame
been
Mr.
thinking.
Charlie.
I thought about this earlier today. Our dynamic as Black American people, Black people in general, was never the American dream. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they have it in their heads that if they can get in close proximity to the palm colored men,
Mm-hmm.
that they can have that picture of I Love Lucy and all of the stuff that you saw on Nick at Night back in the day, like the Brady Bunch where he provided and she took care of the kids. I was like, and that was never our reality. And unfortunately, because of the slave trade and things that happen in this country, we don't even know a lot of where we came from or where we stemmed from to even know what our cultures were. So now a
Yep.
lot of them in their mind is like, oh, well, if this man can have the dream, then so can I, but my brown woman won't listen. So let me go get a lighter brown woman or not a brown woman at all to be submissive and subservient to do what I want them to do. And then that'll get me to close proximity with the non-melanated man that I'm trying to compete with when
Mm-hmm.
most of those men don't even care. They're
Preach,
laughing at them for how they
You
talk about
you
us.
they really are. And Aya, what was
preach
we
it.
talking
Preach
about
it.
earlier today? We need to talk
That
about
is,
that right now.
that is exactly what the hell it is. They are like that's why I said like the audacity that's why like they get frustrated when they hear when we start talking to them and telling them the truth and they don't want to hear it. So then they randomly shut you down and
Y'all
stuff.
always
They
bitching.
know that y'all is
Stop nagging
imposter.
me.
Y'all cap, y'all frauds, y'all are imposters, y'all full of ish because y'all are the ones who have always wanted to covet and be like the palm colored people. Okay, we haven't. Y'all have always vied to be like these men, and y'all have assimilated as much as y'all could, including patriarchy and supremacy and upholding supremacist ideals and stuff. Make black men great again. Like who the hell?
You you know who's the perfect example? You
Black
know
men
who's the
don't
perfect
Give it,
cheat.
example?
girl.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
lie.
they need to stop. They need to stop lying about that. Black man don't cheat. I did a whole podcast about
Y'all
that.
take y'all take their phrases and then twist them to be your catchphrase. It's like it's sick. I don't understand. And then y'all try to sit there under the guise and see what's happening is that we're smarter now. We're not drinking the Kool-Aid as much. A lot of us are waking up,
A lot of
so
us don't
you can't
drink Kool-Aid. We
gaslight
like
us.
flavored water
I
with
drink
lemon.
Crystal Light.
You can't
Well, let me
gaslight us and shut us down anymore. So, like when they used to be telling us, like y'all be wanting to be like the European women's and wearing the blonde weaves, like who is you to tell us who we trying to be when y'all been abandoning us and left us because y'all the ones who always wanted to be down with those people, not us. That
And
was
it's black
y'all.
people with blonde hair and
so
blue eyes
Compare
doing
us.
that.
so
I compare.
so let me
Y'all are out there comparing, and they've always did this, and it always blew my mind, even as a teenager. But y'all out there, y'all be comparing black women to white women. That's apples and freaking oranges. We are not the same. We are never going to be the same. My feminine energy is different than hers, than Karen's, and it's always going to be my style, the way our swag is. Everything is going to be different than Karen. And why are you even trying to compare? That's like comparing an Asian girl to this. Like y'all have always made comparisons,
They
and
don't think that we're feminine at all.
all
these
right, all
That's the
right. Can I
problem.
say
are women.
something that I watched? Was this thing going on YouTube, right? I was
Oh
looking at it, I was
Lord.
like, and it was talking about why white men prefer black, why some white men prefer black women.
Where they at though?
Now.
Hold on. Wait a minute, y'all. Bear with me. Hold on to your seat. Grab your purse and your pearls or whatever you need.
Hold on, I got my purse.
I'm gonna grab my snacks.
I have to go grab me something to drink because that cranberry juice is banging. I bust it down. Go ahead.
So I'm like, really? So I was like, I started watching videos about this, right? And so there was this one particular interracial couple. It was a white man and he was with this black woman. And, you know, they have this podcast channel. I didn't really subscribe. I should, because I thought it was interesting. And she was like, you know, they wanted to talk about that particular podcast she was talking to her husband. He's a white man. And she wanted him to articulate why he preferred to date black women. So he was like, well, you know, he was like, number one, black women are beautiful. Oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. I love, you know, a lot of the features of a black woman. It's very exotic. And she's like, exotic? That's kind of bad. He was like, no, it's not bad at all. Because even, you know, when black men date white women, they feel it's exotic. So it's just something that is different. That's what he explained, right? Mm-hmm. Then he was like, bear with me. Then he was like, I love the fact that they are so strong. He was like, it's just amazing. It's like they are so resilient with everything that they do. It's like, you know, they always are able to bounce back, no, like even like in the worst of circumstances, and it's very inspiring.
Okay.
He was like, I also like that. He was like, I also like that. That they are so deeply caring. It's like they, like when they love you, like they want to make you a better you. Like they're going to work with you. They're going to try to build you up. They're going to be involved in everything that you do. And he was like, they are just such caring women. He was like, and I've been with all different types of races. He was like, it's like Ben and Jerry. I've been with Asians, white, this, and he was like, but I always came back to black women. He was like, because that was something that was unique to them. He was like, when they care and they love, they really pour themselves into it fully. And he was like, I just love black women. He was like, you know, and when I was listening to him say this, right, I'm like, he loving all the stuff that our men can't stand about.
Can't stand about us.
Well, they don't like Tony Robbins either, but it sounds like from that white man said, we sound like black women versions of Tony Robbins.
We're strong. We sound like the people of our race. That is like the dynamic. He said that the white women have. Aya, I need you to speak on what you told me on the phone earlier, because when I told you this, you made a nice analogy to how
she's good with these. I want to hear this.
Strong black woman ends up a lot of time with this white man standing behind her like, go, babe. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my microphone, y'all, but it's a shared pathology. That's why. So we're equally yoked in a sense, because it's not that you eliminate that competition that, you know, black men love competing with black women because they already feel like they're at a disadvantage and, you know, they have to be this top.
Your mic done went out. So we're going to let you get situated, because that's a good point.
Oh, hold on.
Well, I could tell you this much. My oldest brother was married to a white woman, and it was to please my father. And you know what happened? He tried everything he could, and he ended up dead. The man killed himself. Ooh. And he was a gorgeous, dark-skinned man. And I'm pretty sure he would have wanted a sister, but he wanted to deal with that whole notion of the white woman on the pedestal as a prize thing.
Oh. It's echoing.
Yes, echoing.
Yeah, the white woman on the pedestal notion. I mean, think about what's going on now. And I was talking to a girlfriend on the phone today, and I talk organic, and the people say it sounds funny. But I said, honey, I didn't realize that on my 50th birthday that Womblands was going to be my birthday gift, because that's when Womblands first came out. I mean, seriously, on my birthday, Womblands, when she said, you knew, and I told my friend today, I said, I said, girl, damn it, I did not realize that this was the prequel to the real life Womblands. Think about it. Roe versus Wade being overturned, there gonna be a lot of Womblands. And Chelsea done told y'all she was prophesizing to the peoples about what was going on. She had an ache in her Womblands, and it's gonna be a lot of y'all. You better hope that Lansing
snap,
everybody's
she
daddy.
did say that.
Think about it, y'all better hope that Lansing everybody's baby mama, because he said he
Lance over
liked
there making.
polyamorous relationships. So he might do the rounds from state to state, and it'd be a
No,
lot of Womblands.
he's selling T-shirts.
So
Okay.
I your mic straight.
Yeah, that saga, they don't know what we talk about, y'all, but that saga was absolutely insane. At that junk had me
Hilarious.
so lit. I had came back just in time and I caught all that mess. It was just hilarious.
Yeah,
But
I sure don't know what y'all talking about
yeah,
right
you don't
now.
know what
Oh,
Oh, girl,
Lord.
don't.
We'll have to catch you
Dynasty
up.
ain't got nothing on that.
the
I got a
white
podcast
man
about it to
and
catch you up.
the white man and the black woman, it's just basically they have a similar pathology. Like, so it works. Just like how they always say black men and white women, they have so much in common because they think so much alike. They're both oppressed,
And
and
they're
Mm-hmm.
victims.
they're both
They hate the
oppressed
black
and
woman.
they both want this level of dominance over, because white women, they can't stand motherfucking Kevin and Kyle and them. They can't stand them. Okay, they want the power. They want the supremacy. They want that power that those white men have, and they don't have it. That's why they be trying to get us. Come on, you guys, feminism, and come and fight. No, we're not fighting for y'all. Like, we're
You
because
already heard mine.
what do you think is gonna happen? We already know y'all never gonna get the power. But if y'all were by chance to overthrow white men and their supremacy, we just gonna enter into y'all version of supremacy because that's all it's
And it's
about.
gonna be worse.
Y'all just want their power, and black men want their power and dominance over us and over white men too, because they feel like inferior. It's that inferiority complex working on them and stuff, and they feel like, God, we just want what these people have. So those two link up, and Karen and Jamal get together, and it's a beautiful match made in heaven. Match made in heaven. But then you have you have Latoya and you have Kevin, and they can power play it all day because he's not threatened by me. He's not threatened by my strength. He's not threatened by how vocal I am. He's not threatened in any way by what I got to say. If I'm out here killing it in the game, I'm doing it. He gonna be right along there, ride or die. He's not threatened by me. He actually likes all of those qualities because we all know Karen and Becky, they just sitting there, they just fucking sitting there moping and stuff, flexing using their men as their muscle, really. That's why you got Karens, because I'm gonna use my white privilege, my white male privilege, and call the 911 on you. So they not doing nothing real. White men respects dominance, and we're the dominant ones in our community. So that's also a match made in heaven. So it's just shared pathology between the racial groups.
So
That's right. They are aroused by us.
But and the man also said, and his wife was like, well, why all of a sudden now you're seeing black women with white men? And he was like, oh no, we always were intrigued and drawn to y'all. And it goes back to slavery days when we had to cover our hair and you had to tie things around your butt because it was too enticing to the slave master. He kept sneaking in the quarters, and Becky was like, whip that one and throw her over there because her man couldn't stay away from it. Then the biracial babies were coming. So my thing is like this. I am not saying that to say, okay, go out here and get you a white man, convo queens. But what I am going to say is this loyalty that we have been having to our black men for decades upon decades. And like Miss Diva said earlier, and the next thing you know, when they done been dogging you out and you leave them and then they want to destroy your entire life and make you broke, busted, and disgusted because you didn't take they crap. I'm just saying, collectively, and I'm going to say collectively, very strongly, we have to weigh our options to be treated properly. I'm just saying. These other races is watching these black men all over the internet dogging us. And they're like, well, I'll take Latoya then. And I sit there and let her be a whole judge, and I stand right by her side on that stage.
And they talk trash about Sentaji.
Yeah, they
talk trash. about her marrying a white man. Some black guy on TikTok was like, "What is this teaching our little girls?" And I can't remember who exactly it was that said who did it, who said the video, but it was like it's teaching our young black girls that hey, you deserve to have support and love from a partner, even if that partner doesn't look like you.
Exactly.
Amen.
But they've done it. They've done it for centuries. They've done it for centuries. Black men had the right to vote before white women did. And what did they vote for? The right to marry a white woman. So all of this, well, we couldn't lead in our communities. Y'all had the opportunity. Y'all had the opportunity. Look, where would Tulsa have been if it hadn't been destroyed? We do know that some of our black men know how to lead because look at all these towns and cities that were started, that were destroyed by the palm-colored coalitions. Look at what happened. But the ones who are running their mouths right now on Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter's internet cannot even do one half of what some of the good black men have done in the past. It makes it's ridiculous to me when they say things like, well, a black woman should have chosen a black man. We tried. A lot of us have
I
been
know I did.
conditioned. A lot of us have been conditioned to only be with a black man. I don't think I've ever dated outside my race.
Loyalty.
Ever.
We are loyal.
We are loyal to
And that
y'all.
has really literally been to our detriment. We are
Downfall.
loyal.
Y'all have everything to say about us, but we just think you guys are the finest. We think that you are the best. We love everything about you, even when you're
Right.
doing us damn dirty.
Right.
We really do.
Right. And we'll stand by you. I'ma stick beside them. No, like a dumbass. There we go. Looking
You know,
stupid. Trying to
Malcolm
love
X
them
said
regardless.
Malcolm X said the most abused and hated person in society was the black woman.
Oh, and they think
He
that's a
sure
lie.
did.
They said we made that up. That Malcolm didn't really say
All
that.
that
I said,
gall.
I said if
Well,
Malcolm
one
was
thing we
alive,
can't make up is that black man, you wouldn't be here without a black woman. Period.
Oh, I want to bring up something important that you guys need to pay attention to. I was on a live on TikTok, and this was the day that Kevin Samuels passed away. I didn't even know what the deal was, but it was like it was almost like Coolie High when that character got shot and they was going to
I got a video that we can play in honor of this man's life.
of Queen Kate Hill Samuels.
So that we can
Yes.
No, child, honey, let me tell you something.
Honestly, I had never heard of it.
Tower
I
bottom
would have to
Samuels.
I would have to have Coolio sing that song F you, and that would be hoo hoo hoo. That was it. But this one guy said, and it made me look. He said, it's going to come a time that black men are going to get violent and take back our power back from you and become savage. And before I knew it, when he said that, I said it, and it was like, for me, that was always been the statement. Like I said, my dad was the way he was, but he never bothered me. Cause I must have been that not golden child, but I was just that thug child. He once tried and smacked me, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad for it. Lord forgive me, but you understood, Lord. He put his hands on me, and I whooped his ass. Vera
What
Walker.
Who, your dad?
Oh yeah, my dad. I said, he put his hands on me, and I'd be damned if I was gonna leave that fight. I'm not Tina, baby. I'm Pamela. And when I left that room, those folks in the barbershop said, "Oh no, not baby girl, not the bookworm." And I came out with the bus. I mean, he got me in the lip. I gotta give him credit. He got one good lick in, but I got a whole bunch of them. He looking like he came out of a butcher shop after Rocky Balboa used him for a punching bag, but he was leaking, honey. I mean, that could have been. I mean, Stay Free Maxi Pads couldn't have been a better sponsor. But anyway, so when they said that. I said that I said like hell you will, or you
What
gonna come in, huh?
What power? We gonna get violent and be savage and take
Who
our power
said
back.
that?
See, I think that's
Oh, child, I was on. Excuse me, I was on this live, and I didn't want to know the person's name just for their own safety, but it was a youngin. It was one of them young 20s,
Of
and he
course.
said, "Yeah, it's gonna come a time." We gonna take back our power. After I didn't explain to them how cultures are different from different continents, men will beat their women, and there's nothing they can do about it. And they was like, "Well, I would tell that man not to do something. I'm like, no, that's in Africa, honey. That's a matriarchal tribal rule. And the woman agreed with me who was speaking about it. They said, yeah, it's gonna come a time we're gonna take back our power. And before I knew, I said, like, hell you will. I
Take
wish you
back
would
power
try.
from who though? Who
From
are
home.
From black women.
From us.
The war
But
against the black
that's
The
telling
war
that.
that
See, he messed up because that's telling because that lets you know that that's the issue. They feel like they are powerless, and it's our fault. I don't know how. I don't know how it's our fault, but it's our fault. It's
because
our
we
fault.
were
It's always our
never
fault, but it's
we
our
were
fault.
never a patriarchal
there's an
society to
echo.
begin with. We were never a patriarchal society to begin with. Black people, I believe, were matriarchs, period. And y'all want to be white men so bad that it's boggling y'all's mind. And for him to say that, take our power back from whom, baby? It
You
wasn't
know,
us. It wasn't us putting y'all in trees. It wasn't us doing all the things that happened to you guys. That's read a book, baby.
All we tried to do was hold down our race when you
Our
guys were hurt.
families.
That's
do you
all
know
we
what
did.
reminds me of? You guys remember Rwanda when they had the wars? It's like we're the Tutsis and the men are the Hutus. And the Hutus were the ones who took over the Tutsi tribe. The Tutsi tribe was the minority, but were treated well by the Dutch when they colonized. Not to say we were treated well by the white man in public, but the white man did like them legs and thighs we had. You know, they knew that our breastesses was feeding their kids quite well because Laura was sickly. But with that said, you know, they got this underground thing where they think they're gonna take over. But I'm like, you know, and they said, yeah, you got the guy even doubled down and said, see, you guys aren't even strong like a man. See, the thing about it is you don't have to be stronger than a man. You just have to know where the pressure points are. And I know all the pressure points that you can hit anybody and knock their ass down. And
This
trust
thing
me, I've practiced.
this been going on for a long time because Tupac said, "How can we hate the ladies that make the babies?"
Right.
But
I'm gonna
yeah, how you gonna lay and you can't even pay for the hotel stay?
That's
I
delusional.
just,
No,
I
you're
just,
supposed to give them the money and let them go in there and put the hotel under their name so that they can feel and look and have the appearance of being a man when most of them don't know how to. And it's very sick. Take my power back, sir.
it don't
Do
feel
you even have a
good.
power bill in your name, honey?
It don't feel good when you as the woman have to pay for everything on a date. Like, I
I
mean,
They
don't pay
women
for
want to
out
be the
shit.
here do
women.
it.
They want to be
I
the
don't pay.
women.
I don't
But
pay
you
for
know what?
shit.
I, you know, I don't even know if that's giving them a fair, like,
Some women do
giving them.
that.
I don't even know if it's me giving them a pass on certain things because I feel like this is kind of like a trickle down effect in our community of where we're at right now, right? And I don't know if we talked about this before you see or not, but it's like a trickle down effect because again, if I look towards older generations of women, it's like we was doing all this freaking like coddling and all of this emasculation and all of this, like, you know what, don't be too hard on him, he's trying. And I always try to tell guys now, like over the years, and even like, you know, recently when me and my boyfriend have conversations and we have these conversations, it's like, you know, I would almost find that insulting that I, as a female, you know, a mammy or whatever you want to call them, I'm just going to let you slide because, oh, you know, he's just a man. Like, it's like me, like letting you slide because I don't expect much of you, anyways. So I'm gonna just let you go out there and do whatever, and I'm gonna give you a pass, and I'm gonna not hold you accountable. I'm just going to let you slide. That to me
Mm-mm.
should be insulting to you.
We
That's
ain't
why I
doing
said
it.
we
Let
keep.
me think about
That's
what you
why I
just
said y'all
said,
keep
though.
who don't
He
care.
get the
But
slide, the
we do
electric
care.
slide.
We
Hold on,
do
think
care
about what you
because
just
they
said,
care
though.
enough to say, get y'all ish together because this out y'all out here looking crazy. Like y'all out here in these streets looking crazy.
But think
What were
about
you
what you
trying
just
to say?
said, though, and how even back in the day when the men were separated from the wives and the wives had to step up and take care of the kids, even in slavery times, and when things started to get a little bit better, oh, you know, that man been through so much because our ancestors, our grandmothers and great grandmothers and great greats watched these men suffer so bad that it's almost like they were over empathetic.
Right.
Once they got to a place of, oh my God, you know what, that man trying so hard. Let me, oh, it's okay, baby. Let's
What
let
about
me
us
do it,
though?
because
They got
generations of
Aisha,
black
yes.
women.
And it's like,
Where was
Yeah.
empathy when we were being raped?
about us?
But you know what? I think that Miss Diva got a point because, like, back during slavery days, they would let the slaves get married, and then the slave master would come there and take that man's wife into his house right in front of his face and do what he want to do. And then this man got to watch his wife pregnant with the slave master baby.
But they mad at us about that.
They
They
mad
But
mad
at
you
at the wrong
can't be
people.
mad at us because we were abused just as much you were,
But
just
they
as
don't
much
think
as you
so.
were.
They don't
Probably
think so.
worse.
But y'all
They,
stop.
It was worse.
it was way
It
worse.
was worse. You had to cook, you had to clean, you had to give your breast milk to Miss Laura's kids, and your kids were
Not Miss
starving.
Laura.
And then you got raped. That's why I call her Miss Laura. But then you had to sit there and be out in the fields and make for sure them biscuits didn't burn while you was picking a bale of cotton. And then you got raped. And then you had to take old stanky chitlins and make something on Sunday, make them brooms so folks can wet under secret. And then you also
How
had to kiss
about
up to Miss Laura.
pick cotton while you with child, and you know that be hard.
And
It'd
you
be hard to do anything.
And you know they charged them by how they treated them by how much cotton they picked. You had to pick a certain amount a day. That bag had to come. That weight had to come in right every day.
I'm not
They
trying to
don't
say
think,
nothing,
but they
but the
don't think
joke
we suffered.
was.
They don't think we suffered. That's the
And we
issue.
still suffer.
They,
We suffer when we go to the boardroom and can't wear our hair like that. We got how your hair look. We got to hear about how our hair look from y'all, from the people at work. I have men told me, you need to have your hair like this. And you need to do this, and yeah, you could tell us everything you want us to be, but we can't say you need to step up to the plate with A, B, and C.
you said something about you talked to your male friend and how your male friend did all this explaining about how they go out in the world and they're beat down. They don't even see us as human. That's the reason why they can't equate that black women are going through the exact same thing, but worse, because not only do we have patriarchy, we have sexism and all the other isms that come behind it that tear down black women. And they think, oh my God, I'm sorry. It makes me, it's like y'all think y'all the only people that went through slavery.
And then they're like, you guys getting paid more money, you got better jobs than us. But if there is a black man in some of these jobs with us, black
They're gonna
women
make more
still
money.
get paid less.
Right, and that's
And they
statistics.
don't know Jack. And all of them don't know Jack. And who do they go to ask the questions to? Us. Because I've had it happen in education. I mean, I've had black men say, "Oh, you study too much," but you
Y'all
mad
don't
because
read enough.
I'm like, you mad because I got a bachelor's from a liberal arts school and I got a master's from a liberal arts school and I went and got I got 120 credits beyond the masters and I went to doctor school twice and dropped out because my brothers ain't shit and ain't raised their kids, and you can't even go to the community college and get yourself a trade, but you only thing you trading is your slinging your thing on Miss Laura. That's the only
No,
thing you got PhD in is that big fat
making
D.
babies.
That's it. That's it. Fat PhD, fat D. That's all you, that's the only degree you can carry. And if that thing ever get flaccid, Viagra can't perk up your PhD, brother. But me, I could always do things, but you had to prove yourself. And then the women, whenever they didn't want to do work, what would they do? My supervisors, if they were black men, they would go to the black men and cry. And then black men come up to me and I said, no goddamn well, you ain't coming up to me with this bull. You know dang on well that I don't play. You see me in them streets back when I was a kid up there swinging. So go and tell Miss Laura she better get up off her chair and do work with them kids. Them kids that she can't handle. I can't tell you how many people in education, a lot of these teachers that are in there that are white in inner city can't handle them kids, but them the first ones become principals, and them the same places that if there's not saying a shooting, but some type of thing like that, they can't handle it because they were afraid of them as an educator. So how can you be a leader to these kids? You don't know how to teach. You don't know how to deal with colleagues. You don't know how to deal with women of color who know pretty much mostly everything in there, but all you doing is get a nice double salary to a teacher, and all you do is look pretty, and they don't even look that.
Half of them don't
Okay,
look pretty.
I get tired of looking at SpongeBob SquarePants wearing
What's
Calvin Klein
SpongeBob?
with no hump in the back.
Sorry.
Okay,
Okay, wait, Bob.
and that
give Aisha the floor because she was trying to say something. You guys.
I'm sorry,
I
Aisha. Forgive me, honey.
totally forgot. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, but her, and then they have the fifth toe had eyes, them cones on their toes. But I get tired of that. You could be overqualified, over knowledge, but you're still the lowest paid because you're a black woman.
Yeah.
Look
You're
at
And
your
I
overpaid
mean,
because
comment.
there's that jealousy
You don't
and there's
want
that envy that you could pick it up quick and you're innovative and you know how to work because genetically we had to. As slaves, we had to learn how to make food stretch. We had to learn how to take care of our kids, learn how to make for sure we could recycle clothes from the oldest to the youngest. We had to make for sure of knowing when to avoid danger. We had to know how to sew seeds in our hair with braids and show roots and all this other stuff. I mean, we know navigation. We knew how to do irrigation. We knew how to do agriculture. We also knew how to do child midwifing. We also knew how to take care of other stuff and definitely knew how to cook. I mean,
And
we
who
knew a
all
lot
that
of stuff.
in modern day times, Big Mama knew all that stuff.
Yeah.
She knew all that stuff. Your
But you
grandma,
know what?
she
and
knew
we
all
know
that.
all that stuff too. And now we also have book smarts and education. A lot of us, black women.
And technology.
Mhm.
And they
Hey,
And
still don't get it.
That's what it is because it's like such a disdain and a resentment that's built up towards. It's like, and to me, and I'm probably to y'all too. To me, it's like illogical. I don't get where it comes from. But then I guess I do get where it comes from. Like, don't blame us because at the end of the day, since we was on that plantation and since we had to lick your wounds and all this stuff, like Aisha was saying, because I did remember what you said. What about us? We was never freaking considered ever. Did you ever come to us and be like, how do you feel? How are you handling your trauma from all of this? How are you dealing with that beating that you just took in the fucking field? And then when we went out there and was marching for y'all asses, and when we was in the Black Panther Party with y'all asses, and we was doing all this activism work and all this stuff with y'all, and still getting y'all ass to kiss
and
in the
how
back.
about
Nobody
about
still was worried about us, like you said, Aisha. What about us? That
and
we
let's
got forgotten about. And I can only also say we have to also, like, that was partly our fault too, because we should have back then. I just wish we would have had that mindset to be like, you know what, we got to make sure we take care of ourselves too. So then maybe it could like even things out now to
well,
where
that's
we're
what
not
they
always
taught us.
caping and in parading for them. We also was making sure our cup was filled as well, because now it's like a trickle down effect, and now we got this resentment towards us. And it's like, that's why I always say, you see, and y'all, like, we are literally the roses that grew from fucking concrete, because we grew without no watering of any kind, no kind words spoken to us, no affirmations said or anything. We grew out of pure and sheer fucking luck because we had to always water ourselves.
And you want to know why we got a freaking attitude? Because y'all don't understand that.
They don't care to.
You
They
know?
don't care to.
And you go and the thing that I hear from so many black men, y'all got an attitude. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all got attitude. We
But
got
you don't
attitude
care.
because after a million decades of 400, I don't know how many years, y'all still don't get us.
But they don't care. And that's the
they
problem.
don't.
As soon as we accept that they do not care, it will be easier for us to divest and make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our children. They do not care. Even in the conversation you had with your homeboy, he's like, well, I go out into the work and I get beat down. Because you don't even see us as black women. You really, like, a lot of them really act and navigate as if they are the only ones that are being mistreated. And like it was said
Yeah,
before,
they're the
with
only
the
ones that
activism, with the
yeah.
protests, with all that stuff, even with Christian in Florida, I made it abundantly clear. I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for the people who care about him. But this is the time for our black men and the black men who love white women to go down there and march for your homeboy. And they couldn't even do it. Half of them didn't even know how to go down there and file for the permit to protest. Why? Because
Oh,
black women have always done it. And as much as they have this disdain for us because they do not see us as individuals, they do not see us as equals, they do not see us as black females who have went through the same thing as black men, sometimes worse. When you
yep.
include domestic violence and SA in the picture, they do not even resonate enough to care. Well, what about me? What about me? What about us?
What about your ass?
They
And
don't
and my
get it.
thing, And my thing also is that I just listen.
Oh, Jesus.
This is why when y'all come at us with you need to submit, it's a loaded gun.
Shit.
You
Mm-mm.
hear all the
I'm
stuff
gonna
we talk about?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like you
submit
said,
my order to
like
Olive Garden. That's
if
what I'm gonna
anyone
submit.
like with all the stuff that we just mentioned, that we just went through and talked about, with all of this stuff that's been placed on our backs, right? It's like the audacity. It's like,
I told you.
Like that's what you worried about. All this stuff we got going on.
for what? What? Because it's like, what have you done?
Half of them
For
don't
me
even know what
lately.
school the kids go to. Half of them don't even know the teacher, black, white, blue, or purple.
And
Or
how
I
many
can
of y'all
Half
mamas
of them
is
don't know the
still
day of
holding y'all
birth.
birth certificate? How many of y'all men mamas still got y'all damn birth certificate?
okay.
Girl, child, stop. You better stop.
Tell me
You
about
better
that guy.
stop telling on us.
That is
Stop,
hilarious.
stop snitching on us,
That
girl.
be the
Listen,
mama
black
though.
women, let me tell you something. It ain't just these black men, like Aya said. It is us too. We are part of the problem.
Yeah, we are. We are part of it.
we've stayed in
Stop
situations entirely too
coddling
long.
your sons. When I grew up, I remember we all had the girls had to. I grew up with a little brother. I had to clean all the time. He got to sit there.
I know
Mm-hmm.
my son got to get up.
Now
Come
they
on,
do, and I
come on,
feel
ball.
like, nowadays this is why we not submitting like that because yeah, I just got something. They said we going in. So
Why
this
they
is why
quiet
we.
tonight in the
This
chat?
is why
Why
we
is y'all so
cannot.
quiet in the chat tonight?
Nobody writing in the chat. Y'all scared
I
tonight,
know.
Convo Queens.
I'm
Y'all
scared.
scared.
Shelly, say something. Hmm.
But
So my
But you
thing,
know what?
mhm.
Here's the thing that I saw it, and I think this is one of the problems I have. I'm an educator by trade, but my dad, the one thing he did teach me was poetry ever since I was a kid. So yeah, I've always been a deep type of person. And I like to embrace the deepness. I like to embrace the creativity because we're not even celebrated for that. And there been so many songs out there, and there's been so many poems have been written out there that have basically that foreshadowed what was going to happen, like with Otis Redding, Try a Little Tenderness. That song is basically talking about us. Though she may be weary, those young girls will get weary wearing that raggedy dress, but at some time try a little tenderness. Then there's Erica Badu, Bag Lady, you gonna break your back, dragging all them things like that.
hmm
Then there's even a lot of the stuff. So I thought I put a couple posts up this week. So when it came to the Roe versus Wade, I already told my white friends, I'm like, don't even expect me to go for that fight because I ain't got it in the dog and I've been sterilized by choice. So I ain't fighting for y'all. Y'all on your own. But I mentioned Dylan Thomas's poem, Do Not Go Gentle to That Good Night. I see you guys are talking about rage against the dying of the light. Yeah, y'all mad because y'all can't kill the light. The light got to stay now because of what SCOTUS chose. Now you realize that's backfiring. You voted for 45 and it's backfiring on you. Then when you think about the young man who got murdered by his white girlfriend, well, what about his family? They knew he was talking about black women like a dog. They were black women. How come they didn't hem him up
Oh
on that?
yeah, that man
Why
that
didn't they
got killed.
correct
I
him?
remember that.
You just let
Because
your
Africans don't
relative
look at
disrespect
African
you, your
Americans.
mama, your aunt.
Go ahead, Aisha. I
What?
couldn't
What?
hear what you
I
say.
just think that Africans don't see us as equal
Yeah.
as
A lot of people.
and there's some kind of disdain. I won't say all of them, but there's because they should have checked him a long time ago, but there was no correction.
No,
I
they
So
don't
allowed
think
him
I
to do
don't
that.
think that I'm just gonna say this. There's always been a divide between African Americans and Africans in the United States, but I just don't think that they truly understand the plight of the African American struggle. I don't think that we can
I
fault
don't
them for
think
being
that it systematic
uneducated
progress.
about it. They are not immigrants when they come to this country, a lot of times they are not educated about what we went through.
the
Right.
trials we went through, right? Because of the history is whitewashed, and so of
Right. So they're
course,
not going to know unless we have like a serious dialogue between each other, right? And I know, but I that's why that divide, especially back in the 90s and stuff, where it was like a huge divide against like, people of African descent that were immigrants and African Americans in the Black community. I just don't think they understand the plight in the United States.
Right.
This African guy, he told me that that Black Americans are not oppressed. We're just lazy. We're not oppressed.
Baby, I worked 3 jobs last year.
Lazy.
Wow.
And that was just so, I said, I hope you don't go around repeating that to people, because that is highly offensive. I'm offended because you cannot tell us that, but yeah, they don't, like you said, they don't get it. It's not their experience, even though like they should know the experience because it happens over there. I don't know, but
I mean, a lot of the aftermath of enslavement in this country has been a cancer in our African American society for a long time, and some people do make it out of a struggle, but at the end of the day, it is a choice. However, there are external factors that do affect people, and that's how I look at it, because and I feel like I am able to look at it like that because I came from humble beginnings, and I made certain choices. But if you can affect people, that's why I always say that if you really feel like you're a Black activist and you care about the Black community, then one of the ways that you can truly touch the Black community is in education, like Miss Pam. Education is where they start the suppression. By the time kids are in 3rd grade, if they're not scoring well, then they're building prisons. So if you really are a Black activist and you truly care about the Black community, an educator is the way to go, because that's where you touch the next generation. You know what I'm saying? But when I look at us as African Americans, we are ignorant to the plight of other Africans and African diaspora. Yes, we can all sit up here and say, oh, we don't know where we come from. Well, there is ways now in the 2022 where you can do your genealogy and different things. I know everybody ain't got the money to do that, but I'm just saying you can do it. Especially you get your taxes. If you want to know what tribe you from, there is ways you can find that out nowadays. Like,
They be having sales. You can get a
yes, they
whole
do.
kit.
You
You get a
can
whole
learn where
kit.
you're from. We are not crippled to the fact where we are just totally oblivious to knowing where we're from. I'm gonna tell you where you're from. Our people were took to this country in the transatlantic slave trade for a reason. They took the cream of the crop from West Africa. That's why West Africa is in despair right now. And that is why we have the modern medicine and the architecture and the different things that we have, because they stole the princesses and the kings and the queens and the different things. And if we knew who we were from, we would do so much better. And I feel like, to get back to the point of this whole podcast, I'm gonna reel it on back. Dominating Black women is too complex for y'all brothers right now. It is very complex. We have complex feelings about that. There is some women who is playing that role, but I promise you they're not happy. They are not happy.
They'll only be sitting there for a little bit of time. They ain't gonna stay there long.
Some of them stay forever, but they're not happy.
And
How
that's
you gonna tell me she happy and her man out here slinging all over the place, but she living in a big house? She ain't happy.
Or she ain't got no voice. She gotta walk around that house and be quiet and meek and not say anything. And the kids run over her and he run over her. And when they try to go to mom for help, and she like, oh, ask your dad. I don't know. It's like, how can you, like, that's just a sad existence. And that's another thing, because it's like always fantasizing and romanticizing about, our grandparents stayed together. And like, have y'all ever asked y'all granny if she was freaking happy?
Oh, she told you she wasn't happy.
Y'all ever?
My granddad said he stayed
because
he couldn't take it.
I don't think I could have lived that existence when I think about it. Like, it's like all her life was like, you got married to this guy and then y'all had a bunch of kids and then you just became this and nothing more. Like, did she have any dreams, aspirations? Did she want to do anything with her life?
They never asked. They never cared. They didn't ask. They don't like that we have dreams, goals, aspirations, and that Black women are thriving, especially in education at a certain point when Black women wasn't even allowed to get an education. That's the reason why it's asinine to me when some, quite a few of the black men say, "Oh, black women destroyed the community houseway." Y'all had rights to vote before we did. And even if y'all couldn't find the jobs, who would y'all wasn't hustling out here again to get a trade? You knew that black women were allowed in these white people's houses to do the maid work and the cooking and the cleaning. But what were y'all doing collectively on the back end to make sure that you guys were the backbone of the black community, the leaders and providers that y'all can verbally say, but you are not physically or actively doing? Statistics show that y'all not.
Hanging out at
They
the juke joint and gambling all the money away that she worked hard for.
Yeah, and then feel like you entitled
Oh
to it
shoot,
because
you
you
done
were
told the
born.
truth now.
You've been born a different gender than what we are. But then a lot of them do not like educated black women because they can't get over and pull the mess and crap that they would have done if we were left stupid. And even back in the day, black women were not stupid, they just were limited.
Right.
And
That's
they've
The
given the
manipulation.
opportunity
limits.
they've given the opportunity for black women to be limitless in getting their education and learning new tricks, to be able to turn something into a hustle, to be able to flip any side business into a profitable business, and be able to financially secure whatever they need to do. And black men, most, do not even know how to be good people. Most of them don't even have good manners. So you're
Yes.
not even talking to a black woman with some sense.
You talk
And then
to
you're like, you need to
crazy.
be submissive. To
Yes.
whom, sweetheart?
That's why I want to segue into what you have to say, Miss Diva. I can submit, but only if you submit to me too.
Agreed.
Mm.
Agree, but they don't know what the true meaning of submission is, which is why they keep saying it and yelling it to the top of their little podcast microphones they got from Jeff Bezos. They stay
Please
yelling.
don't mention that man's name. I can't stand him.
They stay yelling. Like Amazon had to have a 2-for-1 special on microphones. I need a woman to submit. Do you know the definition of submission?
Oh my God. It always sounds like servitude and slavery.
Oh,
I can't. But you do. Have y'all seen that video of the guy where the woman's off camera talking to him and is recording his face, and she was like, "Look, I'm making more money than you. You know, all I need you to do is stay home, cook and clean, and take care of the kids. I have as many kids as you want, but my income is, being able to take care of what we need. We could travel with the kids and everything." And the first thing out his mouth was, "Why would I cook and clean? I'm not a slave." Oh, so that's
There you
exactly how
go.
you
You proved on
feel.
yourself. Right.
so we got the answer. The ultimate answer is just like they're not happy if we're free. They want a way to have it pinched. And I know that my dad's biggest problem with me was he was a barber and he was a business owner. And, he had that business for 50 years and he wanted me to be a barber. My mother was a beautician. She went through beautician school. And I cooked and cleaned at home at 12 years old. That's a Generation Next thing. Maybe it is latchkey and then cook and clean when you get home. But
Hmm.
do you know that hurt him probably to the day he died because he wanted me to be a barber, even though I cut hair better than he could, did hair better than my mom could, and was book smart, street smart. But I just didn't want to be that because anybody knows if you've ever been in a barber shop, honey, Mo Infotel goes through the barber shop about how the man thinks, and I'm not child did enough podcasts to go through some of them topics, but I can tell you this one common theme is black men and all of the things they have won as far as women. How many women they've taken over? How many women they have slept on? How many kids they don't know about? How many, how they took the woman's car while she's working and have the second and third and fourth woman in there, driving them around till the gas left and the fumes was in there. And then you got mad because you only have 3/4 of a tank instead of a full tank. And then, oh, I'm tired of fast food. I want a home cooked meal. Well, your ass was home all day, wasn't you? Oh, you weren't. So you could have ordered DoorDash at least. That would have been, it could have,
You
you
ain't
could
ask
have did.
DoorDash money.
They didn't have the
Who's
money.
gone?
They ain't got DoorDash. Oh, and then the thing about it too is just like, oh, I'm not gonna get on welfare because I'm not gonna get food stamps because I'm my pride. Like, so you expect me? I heard a woman say this in a grocery store once. I pulled out her, her food American Express, as I call it. And he said, "Oh, I want shrimp and lobster." And she said, "Well, we gotta feed our kids. I'm gonna get what I get." Man, please, you ain't even
They're
paying
so
no damn
selfish.
child support.
So
That
They're so
maybe,
level.
so
selfish.
maybe the thing is that there is are we saying, ladies, that there is a selfishness with this, with the men wanting the
Yes.
submission?
There's an
Yes.
entitlement.
It's entitlement. Yeah,
It's an entitlement led by their ego, and when they don't get what they want, they tantrum out worse than toddlers.
And
It's
Don't
an
it's
do it.
like,
You're gonna
entitlement.
do that shit by yourself.
then it's like, okay, since you want to, there's certain, like, I heard this from guys. It's just certain things you don't need to say. Like, you don't need to say this, or you don't need to say that to
Say
me.
what?
Okay,
whatever it is.
so let's give an example. Let's give an example.
Like their
Okay.
queen. You want to use one of the queen's examples
Sure.
from his show
Oh,
before
go
he
ahead. If you know
one of
one,
his
Miss
queen's
Diva, go
examples.
ahead. You can
It
do
was
one.
one the week before she went on to glory. It was, if you're over a certain age, you're leftovers.
Oh yeah, your leftovers.
You're
Oh,
leftovers.
child, yes, the
No, I
35
wasn't.
year old thing.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about, say you talking to your man, right? And you're like, well, we got a problem. I don't like how you talk to me, or you said this or that, or like,
Um,
or this or that. And they're like, some things you just don't have to say to me.
Okay,
Like,
so you
you
said
just don't have to make them accountable for every little thing they do. They truly don't feel that we have the right to do that.
and that's
But
part of the
yet,
problem.
let you do something,
Oh, they never gonna let you
you
forget.
gonna hear about it.
They never gonna
So
let you forget.
they can give lashback but not receive feedback.
Yeah,
They
just
can
like
never
with the
receive
cheating
feedback.
thing. I've heard so many men say they don't feel that monogamy is a thing. They supposed to be with more than one woman.
Then go
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. But
Go do that.
I'm the type of woman that will tell you, you want to cheat on me?
Go ahead.
Go ahead and cheat on me.
Have fun.
But I will tell you, it's an equal opportunity environment in this mother.
And I'm gonna call Marcus as soon as you go.
So don't try to flip your marbles when I go and do the same thing you do.
Oh, they be ready. They be ready to take you out.
Oh
You go do
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
you
thing they do.
you
every name
trash
in the book.
then.
Yeah, you every name in the book. You
You
chat.
trash. They gonna yell it from the rooftop,
They
tell
gonna tell
everybody.
everything too. Yeah, they tell
You
everything.
ain't tell nobody about 5 different people. You probably know 3 different people you know about, right? You just kind of kept it under right. You probably told your closest friends or something. They ready to scandalize your name. You the biggest hoe in the world.
They about to
Oh, but
pull
the homeboys ain't gonna check him when he cheat. But
Oh
they
no,
gonna
not
help.
at
They gonna
all.
help. They gonna help bash your name if you post the wrong Instagram picture. They gonna make sure.
Mm.
They gonna make sure you are known as the biggest hoe of the whole town.
You the biggest hoe. You lost all your credibility. You trash. You unfit in every aspect.
All while Gerald got 3 different baby mamas with 4 different kids, and they paying child support for none of them, and complaining about a $25 a month child support order that he can't pay, but then got on the newest Jordans.
Oh,
Make it
but
make
Oh,
sense.
you are also the biggest. You are the biggest villain in the world because you get child support.
you mean that's $6.13 a week? I mean, didn't
And
UNICEF
some
kids
women
get more than that?
but I'm gonna tell you, I understand it's these broke men out here wanting submission, but it is men with money out here that still don't deserve submission. They
Agreed.
paying the child support.
First of all, I don't know why they think that females have to submit for one, because I don't believe in that. So I'm not gonna submit no way to anybody. But
Me either.
no,
It's like they want somebody to they want us to let them be our daddies or some shit.
yeah, like,
But then they talk
Yeah.
about the ones of us who
No
have
thanks.
daddies.
I went through one daddy. I that was enough. One daddy was enough for me. I'm at a one daddy maximum. I actually wish I had a half a daddy. Then I still would need therapy with that half a daddy. I
Yeah, they want to
mean,
be
that
daddy. They want you to call them daddy. They want all that. Yes, they do.
Then
I'm
make
gonna
sure I'm
dry up if
straight.
I call somebody daddy.
That
Right.
like
Make sure
Well,
I'm straight. Make sure my car is gassed up. Make sure my tires are straight. Make sure the oil change is up to date. Make sure the yard is cut. Make sure that I don't have to touch a bag of
girl.
trash.
Yes.
Exactly,
Do
Miss
the
Diva.
things. Do the things. And if you don't want to do the things or you're not capable of doing the things, care.com be taking payments. They take calls. Just set you up a profile and make sure that your house is running effectively, since you always got something to say about a black woman having an attitude. Fold the damn clothes, Gerald. Like, I don't
See, that's one
understand.
thing, like, listen, I don't like that.
so I know that some people might look at
Gerald?
this and think this is a ranting session, but it is not. This is the convos with black women because we want you men, if it's some watching or it's ladies, we talk. If they want to look at this, I doubt they will. But this is why we not submitting. Period.
And
That's
it's
what we got to do.
listen, like I was telling somebody a few days ago, I still haven't heard one good reason why. Like when you ask them, like, why do you need a woman to submit to you? Why?
Why?
There's no good reason. And just like your friend, that wasn't a good reason because you
It
go
He
wasn't
sounded
a
like he wanted
reason.
the
It wasn't
emotional
a
punching
reason
back.
to submit. I asked him the reason why they want it.
yeah, why they want it. And
It wasn't a reason that we should give it. The reason was why they want it.
because you just need to feel powerful at home. Because I don't feel
Yes.
powerful anywhere else. And I'm sorry, black men. I like that. This, you know what I can say?
That is the
I think
reason.
y'all need some
Therapy.
therapy, right? I think y'all need therapy for that trauma that y'all carry, that ancestral trauma that we always talk about, because it's clear that our traumas have affected us differently. Because I don't think with black women, ours isn't like theirs, but y'all's run deep. And I don't know if it's like a male thing because like y'all competing with the white man and like it's that male thing, just like Miss Diva, when we was talking about we was talking about what Mano that ran off and said.
Oh Jesus, we heard about his fantasy.
What happened? What was said?
Oh Jesus, hold on. Please look. Can I please say it? Can I please say it?
Please tell it.
Please,
Testify, girl.
Miss
Testify.
Pam. Miss Pam. This man had the audacity to get on Angela Yee's podcast, and they were talking about people that got kinks and fantasies and all types of stuff. And he was like, "Oh, I've role played before." I'm sorry, hold on. I've role played before, and he was like, "Yeah, I've role played with white women in like a slave fantasy where, like, after I've been whipped by a master, she snuck out to come and comfort me." Sir, you don't read at all, right? Because that ain't how that work. That ain't. So y'all are having fantasies. Y'all are having fantasies. They are having slave fantasies about white women coming to aid to them and after they've been beaten. I'm like, honey, a book will tell you that they ain't had that happen.
That happened in real life, though. Y'all know that? Those are couples, a white woman and a black man, and they took the marriage pictures as though he was a slave. I said, Lord.
They was a bunch of fools too. I talk trash about them. Disrespectfully.
Over on the Twitter, I don't be on Twitter, but I just happened to run into a post and they was showing like what the white girls were saying on Twitter about what Mano was saying. And yeah, they verified and confirmed, like, yes, I have had black men asking us to do that, to pretend like he's a slave and I am coming to rescue.
So they can submit to white women,
Really?
but demand submission from us.
Can I ask a question?
All I know is that it's solidified.
Yeah. What's your question?
I always theorize is that the ancestral trauma
It's coming.
differently.
Here's the question. Did in the role play, did Miss Laura call him Toby or did she call him Kunta?
She called him in with the hard ER.
No,
is what he said. He said that
when they were role playing, did Laura call him Kunta or Toby?
I don't know which one of those names.
Hold up, let me go.
Was he serious? This needs to be real.
He said he was embarrassed. He said before he said it, he was like, "I'm gonna get canceled for this."
Yeah, he knew.
He was
knew
very serious.
He knew not to say
He
it.
should have kept that to
He
himself.
should have shut up.
He should have kept it to himself. He knew not to say it, but he said it anyways because he said, this is where you knew he shouldn't have said it because he said, I never told anybody this before. Like you should have just.
I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, and I don't know what
cancel culture, huh?
I do not know what
somebody. These millennials, we cancel people.
I ain't been liking him anyway. So
oh no, he had one hit. He should have sat down after that because everything after that was trash.
Wait, I'm pulling up the video. I just gotta
nothing.
No, I don't think I think,
okay, I got it.
It's not showing.
Let me I'm about to put it up. I just had to forward it to the part. Good thing I had paused it when I did it for TikTok. I paused it right after he said it because I want to found the part.
Where you go, Pam?
Let me
she's spinning.
Pam done ran out of them snacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a quesadilla when we get off of here.
You making a quesadilla?
I seen your milk.
Girl, I
it
want
looked
a
delicious.
quesadilla.
So no, today was supposed to be Taco Tuesdays, and I had a meeting and didn't get back on time. So I'm gonna shred my chicken and throw it in this little quesadilla maker, and then I'm headed to bed.
I know that's right.
Sex, all that is pretty standard nowadays.
What if a girl's like slap me?
Oh no, I did. I did like role play before.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I did role play.
What were you?
But I like role play with white women.
What was the character? You been with white women?
Have I been with white women?
I didn't know.
I'm not doing white women.
What was this role?
I did it for Matilda. What do you mean?
Shut up.
What are you talking about?
I forgot about that
for all them years.
Did you like that?
Huh?
No, what was the role play? Yeah.
The role play.
What was the role?
This feels like it's gonna be so wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've never talked about this.
Ah, shit.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no. Man, oh shit. Oh my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me like what you say. Yes, Master. I'm sorry.
It's just two. It's two of them. Like it's like me getting whooped, right?
You get whooped?
It's like I play like you whipping us, but most of them don't want to play like that. This
yeah, I was gonna say, what white woman goes along with this?
They don't want to play like that. They don't. Okay. This is my. It's like, listen, you're gonna act like your master's wife.
And I'm the runaway.
And I just got whooped by Massa for eyeballing me. But the whole time you've been really. You like it. Anyway. You've been eyeballing me.
Oh, this sounds like some freaky porn. I'm interested.
Right, this is some freaky shit. And then I'm gonna come all sweaty, right? Just finished getting whooped, and you're gonna say, "No, Billy Joe, no, Billy Joe, no." Massa's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like it. That's what you know you want to learn. This is his own script. Yeah, his own script.
So white women have gone along with this and done this. He's speaking from experience.
Nobody really went along with it. Like I stood up on the wall and said, "Come on, let's act it out." And he was like, "Man, no, are you crazy?"
What if they call you the N-word?
See, this is
because this comes with it.
This is where it goes deep, and this is where I'll probably be canceled after this.
You be like, "Don't say it." Go ahead.
I don't know if I can say this.
Say it.
I'm gonna take Gigi's advice.
Ugh. I don't heard it all.
Fix it, Jesus.
Fix it. This is what I've been talking about.
Oh, honey. I heard it all.
I'm assuming after that she could call him that. And they verified it on Twitter that a lot of Black men ask for this specific role playing. That's why I said I always like their ancestral trauma runs freaking deep. Because I have no desire to be a slave girl. I
never.
Well, no desire whatsoever.
So I'm trying to figure out what it's like to be
daddy, but you want us to submit to y'all, but you'll submit. You gonna submit to Karen.
Oh yeah, they gonna submit to Karen on their hands and knees, just like that boy who went into his reception on a leash in front of his child. They'll submit to Karen, Becky, and Cindy, but then they want Lakeisha, Tanya, and Toya to submit to them. What are we submitting to? Exactly. It really, I'm over here shaking my leg because that interview
I was
tears my nerves. And
There wasn't nothing cute.
You see, I went back to my snack, right? I went back to my snack for
and PM, I
comfort.
had said you ain't had no more snacks. She pulled out that shit.
I was disgusted when I said no words. There was no words. There was no words that came out his mouth and said that.
But how did other black women sit in that room just listening to that?
And smiling. That's the thing.
They were smiling because they couldn't believe that this idiot actually said it out loud.
And he boldly said it out loud.
Look, he go, well, what happened? Go ahead and keep getting gaslit. Y'all so dumb you don't even know when you being played. You don't even know when you being played, dummy.
When it was other dudes on the Twitter talking about don't be kink shaming. That's not a baby.
That is not a kink. That is a mental disorder.
That's like telling me you need some.
He need a check for that.
Honestly, I thought you was gonna say something else. I don't know if you guys. I'm not even gonna discuss it, but I know it's where my mama's from, and she lives in Birmingham, and they called it a hot pocket. I thought you was talking about that. The state that has Birmingham in it, hot pocket. I said, oh, please don't bring that one up again, because I can't take that. Don't look it up. Trust me.
I heard somebody on TikTok say, "Don't look it up."
Do not look it up. But I thought that was what y'all was talking about with different races. But boy, I'm sorry. I think that why I just said don't look up. It ain't nothing compared to that. I could never imagine somebody wanting to sit there and just be somebody's Kunta or somebody's Toby or somebody's Django if Django was a beta or any of that stuff. Like, who the hell would think that's sexy to just be whipped with a cat and nine tails? I ain't never heard nobody say, let's role play. You be Mary Magdalene, I be Jesus about to be crucified. I ain't never heard no mess like that. But I bet you there's some freak out there that wouldn't mind trying. But you get what I'm saying?
They are so in love with the idea of them being fetishized by other races. There was one idiot with a microphone who was like, oh yeah, well, we're the highest desired demographic. I said, sweetie, that's what you think?
Sorry.
That's what you think?
That's in that interview. After that, if I continued to play it, he said that too. He mentioned how black men are the most desired.
But did you hear when he said I had to do it for Emmett Till? That's how I know y'all don't read.
That is such a.
He said, "Oh, I had to do it for Emmett Till."
Disrespectful to his family, into that boy for you to have said that.
But they're sick. Like, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said it like that. But think
that's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. What in your mind makes you think
to do it for Emmett Till?
What makes you think that role playing a slavery scene was you doing it for Emmett Till when Emmett Till was accused of something he didn't do and was unalived for it, a child at that,
brutally.
And the fact that they didn't call him out on it, I get it. You trying to make him feel comfortable on your podcast, so you just gonna let him run off at the mouth. But
they got views. That's what they got views. But it's just like
I know shock value.
Yeah,
that definitely shocked me.
That definitely shocked me.
Nick Cannon was like, oh, I had to do it for the ancestors, because when you with a white woman, it's like sticking it to a white man. And he was with Raza Islam. And Raza looked at him, he said, oh, you believe that? That's weird. Like, because in their mind, they think being with a white woman is some close proximity to white maleness. Even that white girl who told them, hey, me being with you don't get me a raise with white men. White men look at us as discarded. Well, as a man, I don't believe that's true. But you're not a white man either, nor are you a white woman. And a white woman is telling you that being with black men is not a flex, especially a black man that don't have money.
Well, my thing is this, like, do you feel like that's declining?
Which part?
What?
The white women being with the black men?
No.
Depends.
No.
I think it looks like it's,
I feel like, somewhat they're starting to wake up too. And like, they don't want them either.
I mean, do you think that that's why they're so focused now on making us submit now? Because they're not getting the white women as much?
when the Kardashians became baby mamas, that's when they realized they were no longer special. And
Well, you know what?
unfortunately, I've watched a lot of Kardashians because I just thought that they were just California girls that I ain't never been on that side of the country. The shit was interesting to me. But think about it. Kylie's a baby mama. Kim's a baby mama. Chloe's a baby mama. Courtney just got married, but was a baby mama prior. Their demographic for what they thought baby mamas were, which was us or women that look like us, has now changed. And a lot of our men are making them baby mamas too. So now it's like, oh, can I still use my privilege to get what I want? Not with all these swirl babies around here. Or the ones who are fetishizing about having mixed children, but then they don't want any pictures of the what the baby daddy look like. I know a girl personally pregnant with her fourth biracial baby. You ain't never seen a picture of her with them kids with any of the daddies. Multiple baby daddies. All of them are starting to be the face of baby mama-ship. It ain't just us no more.
Yeah, they just don't
said that.
go nowhere, you see. That's all it is with us. They just don't want us to go anywhere. So they'll try to convince us that we have no options, that no other want us, that we best stick with them, while they go and do all this other wild stuff or whatever.
I want to go to the moon.
They just want us to stick with them and not leave them.
I want to go to the moon. I'd rather go to the moon.
Well, I just
Earth is ghetto. I want to leave.
I would say that to change it on a, because it's getting late too, ladies, because we can go on and on, right? But what I will say is that I know what I want from a Black man. Do you ladies know what you want on this panel? Do you Convo queens out there watching, if you have a man, do you know what you really want him to do? Or is he doing what he's supposed to do? Or the single ladies out that's still hoping for this king. Do you know what you want from him?
Yes.
I feel like I do now. If you would have asked me this 5 or 10 years ago, I would have gave you the facade that I thought I wanted in my head.
Because if you don't know what you want from him, then you can't give him the proper standards or boundaries.
Correct.
Yeah.
Honestly, ever since I was young, I always wanted a Black man. And battling with them in the classroom, in the professional world, socially, economically, and seeing what happened with my interactions with my brothers, relatives, and so on and so forth, I decided that I am old-fashioned in the sense that if I find my true love, that's cool. That person has to find me. But if I don't find them, shit, I'm cool.
Right.
I'm 50, so this is the new age of life. Midlife crisis, good. I can have my hot flashes by my damn self on my bed and have my dog Charlie sit there and chill, and we'll Netflix and Hulu and DoorDash and all that other stuff. Now, I would wish that the next generation finds that man that is it does have some strength to them, but has a balance to them. So there's some yin and some yang, some sour and some sweet, but not feel that they have to prove something to anyone, especially their friends, because that's the one thing. They want to flex on their friends, so they'll just mistreat you just as a flex for their friends to show that they have more power, and really it's not the case. But I think that it's important that there is that emotional healing going place. And I know you ladies said that the men need therapy. Shit, we need therapy more than they do. Because not only do we have to deal with them and the issues, but we also have to deal with society and deal with the colorism, the hairism, the texturism. If you have a baby, you're a whore. If you don't have a baby, you're an old maid. I mean, God is striking down quite a few of these folks has been talking trash about his chosen women, but they're still mourning over that man that supposedly only had $1,000 in his account. He was broke and he did GoFundMe.
Let's not start
Karma's
talking about that because I got some facts. That's not.
Now, my thing is
they're gonna
that
be upset.
the takeaway from I think, yeah, we're gonna do takeaway. And you could do whatever you
All
took
y'all
away
can
from.
give y'all little final thoughts. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes to do y'all thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. But I mean, I thought that maybe you could give like maybe 3 of your top things to with your final thought, like that you would desire from your black man. But you don't have to if you want to. I know I'm going to.
So, me personally, looking back over what I believed was a dating history outside of just foolishness leading me up to this point I'm at in my life, communication has to be number one for me personally. Because if not, I'm an overthinker and I will have your whole life and funeral planned with Barack Obama doing a eulogy if you mess with me. So I can't sit back and deal with somebody who either A doesn't know how to properly communicate or B refuses to communicate. The second thing I have to have is some type of consistency. I've learned that I sat in not just relationships, but friendships as well, entirely too long, way longer than I should have, on the premise of, you know what, I love these people. Let me support them. And I pray I get that back, or I'm going to stand here until I get it back. I've lost 20-year friendships over people who genuinely didn't like me. But because in my mind, it was, oh my God, treat people the way I want to be treated. And I love these people. Let me be there for them. I sat too long. I've wasted a decade of my life trying to love people who never loved me. And moving forward, that's no longer the option. The only person I'm sticking beside is my child. Anybody else is optional at this point. That includes family, friends, or relationship. And the third thing is gonna have to be consistent sex, but that's just a whole separate thing because
I asked what you want. Yes,
I can't keep trying to teach you how to do what we need to do. We can either learn together, but I need you to execute the same way they say. Oh well, men want it all the time. So do we? Okay, so do we.
Okay.
So I need you to make sure it work. Let's get some communication and some consistency together. If I'm bae, then you bae. If my BS is my BS, and we can do our BS together, but we need to be a partnership and a team in order for it to work. If it don't make sense, if 2 + 2 equal Lucky Charms, Amanda not gonna be in there. I'm out. So.
All right. Thank you, Miss Diva. We heard you loud and clear, honey. Who
Why do I
next?
keep picking up this cup? Ain't nothing to drink in this cup.
Here, you want some of mine? I got some left.
Aisha, go ahead,
Yes.
girl.
Oh, I'm next. Okay. So, well, first of all, I'm greedy and I need more than 3 things. But
Okay.
first and foremost, I'll treat you how you treat me. So if I got an attitude, you got to reflect on what's your behavior like. Because if you love me, I'm going to love you tenfold, And the most important things that I can think of immediately that I require is emotional intelligence, sensitivity, and that you actually like me. Because you can love somebody and not like them and, not be friends. And then when we can't have sex or make love anymore and it's just us, I want to be able to get along with you. So there's more, but I don't know. That's it for now.
I want to add her last one onto mine.
That was a good point. That last
I
one,
like that.
You want to be able to still get along after that. Like, yes, that's a word. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's
a good one. That's a good takeaway.
Add that one onto mine too. I want that too. Go ahead.
I'm taking some of yours too, Miss Diva.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Aya.
For me?
Mine, You know, I
Oh,
don't.
Pam, did you go?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pam.
Nope, you skipped over Pam.
I'm sorry, Pam.
Oh Lord, y'all want to know what I'm looking for in a man's?
Pam already kind of told us because Pam.
Heavenly Father, we come together to find me a man. I honestly, I can't really tell you because I'm still novice to the whole notion of. I mean, I've been around men for so long, around them, that I don't know how to really be a full female entity around them. So I would say the first thing is that person has to be the one that's, I would say, we supplement and complement each other. So where I'm short, they pick up. Where they're short, I pick up. So we're in constant osmosis. Not saying constantly, but we're yin and yang. Second of all, I need a man that can appreciate that his woman knows how to do men's stuff, and at the same time I can appreciate he can do things that are designed as be supposedly be a woman. So I know how to do, plumbing. I know how to do carpentry. I know how to do that stuff. I can cook too, but I want a man to be able to burn in the kitchen. Wear an apron with nothing but his big old butt, old naked butt cheeks there, frying some chicken and making biscuits. And he's got biscuits. I'm looking at chocolate biscuits while he's making biscuits. So that way,
Pam, you freaky.
Yo.
I'm sorry, that's just my thoughts. I just want someone to compliment my masculine skills with he could cook and clean with his little French maitre d suit without the pants, and I could be just fine. Third thing is too, honestly, he's got to have a faith bit. He have to have some type of faith. Like I have to have a man that is Christian based faith. Like he has to be believing in the higher power as well as me. It's not going to be me praying all the time, because chances I'm going to be praying about, Lord, please don't make me drive this man to drink, or because I might just get him. I might make him that one breakfast that them grits really hits him really seriously. But I want someone that when I'm weak, they pray for me, I'm praying for them, and that faith keeps us together, that bond that keeps us together. I think that's most important. Money is a temporary thing. Good health is something you always wish for. But if you guys can commune on each other spiritually and have that spiritual bond, then that's important, because without that, what do you have? You yearn for that person and they yearn for you in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't expect that, huh?
It's good. That's a good one.
That's
It's a good
good.
one.
But I
I'm still
still want
laughing
that
at the
French
I
maid
it's on
outfit
you,
though.
girl.
I'm still laughing at the biscuits.
I do want them biscuits though. I wish I could have some of them biscuits right now.
So I don't know. Mine is kind of quick because I want partnership over this submission and all this
Right.
stuff. I just feel like, why can't we be partners? And kind of to piggyback off what Pam said, like, where I lack, you pick up. Where you lack, I pick up. And I want somebody who we can grow together and sit there and discuss things without it always being, turning into an argument or a you're coming down on me situation, or discussions without action behind them, without change behind them. Like, I want us to really both do the work when we come together and brainstorm to make us better, right? And I want somebody I can travel with, because I do love traveling. So I want somebody that I can travel with. And I want somebody who like me for me. Like, I'm just fine. I'm enough. Like me. Just like me for me. If you don't like me for me, please don't be here. You don't have to waste your time. I don't have to waste your time. Like me for me. Be genuine. And I want somebody with good intentions. Like, have good intentions. And that's all I really want. And I want for my throat. I want for women in general, young women, young ladies, and women to make wiser choices and better decisions when it comes to the opposite sex, because that is the only way that it is going to prompt them to change. So in that sense, I can understand when they say, you know, well, you kind of chose them, and even though y'all should be just better people, we did choose you. And if we make better choices in who we choose and what we accept and our boundaries, then it would prompt them to have to be better, because I mean, you're not going to get rewarded for bad behavior anymore if we all are on one accord as Black women and say, you know what, the buck stops here. And if you're not on board with X, Y, and Z, then you ain't getting X, Y, and Z. And that's that on that. So I want us to choose ourselves first so that we can make wiser choices in choosing them second, because they have to come second to us now. And that should be the guide that we carry forward.
Yes. Okay. And so since I posed the question, I'm going to go last. When I think about, this was one of the topics that I told I was like, listen, I really wanted to talk about this amongst Black women because I just couldn't understand why this was such a focus of our Black men. I just wanted to be loved and admired and appreciated for all that we contribute to our society, not bashed for everything I need to be doing. And that's kind of how I felt once I, encountered some of these men out here. But what I would say is what I would be looking for in a Black man would be some emotional availability, intelligence, and I think that's in some vulnerability, because that is the only way that I can truly support my Black man, which leads to communication. I would definitely feel that those things go hand in hand, because just walking around not understanding what is wrong with you, not understanding what is going on, we cannot grow and truly have true intimacy, which is the goal. Love is amazing, right? But I got a different philosophy on love. Like, I feel like love comes and goes. It goes up and down. There's so many people who claim that they love people and they still betray them. I would love some loyalty, because when you have that loyalty in combination with the love, like, even on those days when you don't like each other, you still gonna have my back. And it would be nice to have a man who is able to understand that I just want him to win, but I also have my own dreams and goals, and I would love his support. Because if I win, he wins, and vice versa. And I think that that is one of the saddest things among Black couples, is when you see them competing. What I would want, my takeaway is, and what I hoping that you ladies take away is that, and if there's a men watching this, I hope they do watch this. I know I'd be like, forget them. But I just feel like I want you to understand that that word submission hurts us sometimes. It hurts us because we want you to love us and stop focusing so much on domination. And I feel that when they appreciate, if there was anything that I could wish for, is that they would appreciate us as much as we appreciate them. And I hope and pray that now this next generation of sons, we always talk about the daughters. Yeah, we raise the daughters that want better. I hope that we will try to make our sons accountable and not look at it as we are bashing them, or listen to the men like, oh, you can't talk to that boy like that because he ain't gonna like no Black women. No, we want you guys to just be accountable for your actions. That's it. Because a lot of your actions can be detrimental to our community. And we realize that, and we want you to know that that is a thing. So that's my takeaway. I mean, I could go on and on, But that is some of the things that I desire. And I think that is everything. They want to come in, macho man, I'm alpha man. And we want, listen, baby, here's how I'm feeling today, or da-da-da-da. We want to know you. And we can submit to each other when we are partners. And I think that's a better look for us. And I think that would help our Black community way better than you guys just wanting domination so that you can go sow your royal oats and do whatever you want. And we just sit here and be quiet about it. Big Mama told us that wasn't the best thing for us or you. And we going on. And the next generation of daughters, I don't know if they're going to be as loyal to y'all as we were. But we shall see. I'm done.
All right, you guys. So I do, as always, I have a video, because I live in the land of social media. And so I'm going to bring you a video that I think you guys all will appreciate. I'm going to let it play out. And we're going to end the show with that.
Oh, wait, before we go and you play that video, I always got to big up Honey Lush Naturals. Get your scrubs, get your smell goods. And I'm bigging up Pure Sun Kiss. You want that all natural in your hair, or get your man some beard oil. Now hit it, Aya.
All right, let's pull up my video here. Is she gonna play again?
I can't say nobody. I put my game down. I'm gonna need some boundaries, 'cause I'm keeping my peace.
Yeah. At the end of the day, keep your peace, ladies, because they
can't say nobody.